Ah, I knew that. I was very well aware. Totally not rushing it. But hello. Welcome in. Welcome for joining. Glad to have you here, Amenable. By all means, go right ahead. I don't mind one bit. You get on that End Stars grind. I will I will make it very loud and clear when Johannes appears. Monica, it has been a while. How are you? How are you doing? Have you decided that you'd be much more powerful instead of battling the other Monica for title of Monica? That if you two just teamed up, there's nothing we could do about it? I didn't even turn the game on. Hold on. What the fuck is it doing all the way over there? How'd you get there? Who put you there? I didn't do that. That wasn't me. Oh, hold on. Fuck. How'd you get all the way over there? There we go. I was on the wrong screen. Doi. Doi doi. I believe in you. I'm sending all the gacha luck I've acquired by not playing gacha games for the last 2 years now. Sending you all the luck. You got this. Hey, Kiwi. How's it going? Ah, true. Okay, I'm sorry. My mistake, Monica. Each universe does need their own Monica, after all. It is a written rule. It is a constant and a variable. Anyways, let's just jump right into this. Just get right into it. Ah, but before I do, let me thank EasyAF underscore pi for the follow. I got a follow last night. Not even last night, this morning. I wonder how they found me. I hope they are enjoying their day and they're having a swell one. I hope they're doing quite well. Also, wow, is it me or do I look smoother than usual? Maybe it's because no more like the capture card takes some frame rate, my Elgato, but like damn, I'm smooth. Look at me wigging out. Look at me spin. Look at that. I've got so much motion, but no arms. The arms are illusion. What you see here is actually all an illusion. It's not real. I'm a snake. So I have no arms. That's why I can't move them. It's a Star Trek reference. Now you're just a double reference. Oh, fuck. I still need to, like, buy Beat Saber again for my Quest. I bought it on PSVR, but I don't use the PSVR anymore. I use my Quest, like, all the time now. I still need to buy Beat Saber, and that's so fun. What a good workout, too. Alright. Let me jump right into this. We are... Hey, Kitty Biscuits. How goes it? Alright. Let's just jump right into it. I know Amenable's dying for Johannes, the butler. We will be kissing the butler today, hopefully. Gave us the option to kiss the butler. He's Gucci. The rainfall is fast, steady sheets creating shallow puddles on the dirt path, drenching everything the eye can reach. Despite having grown up in the city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean I have to like it, lucky me. I've reached the mansion before the downpours turned torrential. The long slog from Ainslam village by foot has already been made difficult by the light drizzle and biting wounds buffeting against my body every few seconds. By the time I found cover under the trees lining the vicinity of the mansion, my shoulders are already drenched. Yeah, please don't. This kills the snack. Good luck getting that 10k though. That is a grind. My hair is also sticking against my skin, out in every possible direction. Thankfully, the letter, taser, and gun I brought with me has remained relatively dry. That's the most important thing. However, those are the least of my problems at the moment. Sometime after the housewarming party, scumbag Wright suddenly grown a brain and tightened the security around the mansion. A guard is now stationed at every possible point of entry. The main entryway, the back door leading to the kitchens. And hell, it's almost a miracle no one spotted me once I entered the property. Although that's probably because I've kept close to the forest. Also, like, almost halfway there, Monica. Almost halfway there. While I can always create a clever way in for myself under this deluge, it'll be difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving tracks.
I don't really have the luxury either, do I?
Considering how off this place feels since I've stepped on the property and the mansion came into view, every lights is off, even with security personnel on patrol outside, the whole house itself feels empty, eerie, too quiet. Normally I'll pass it off as some kind of power outage because of the storm. It's not a far off conclusion when this place is almost in the middle of nowhere. However, something just feels wrong.
Something happened here.
Or about to. It's the sole reason why I haven't done anything yet. Simply observing, watching, listening for anything. I might be pressed for time, but I'm not a careless idiot. Although I need a way in, desperately so, moving without thinking will not only endanger me, with so many unknown variables and what we're dealing with, I also have to act on the assumption that someone is always in danger, especially in this place. I can't act impetuously. As much as I hate Wright, I'm not about to cause his death because of one thoughtless action. If there's a place he deserves to be at, it's in a prison, not a morgue. So when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter-patter of rain, only then do I stir. A woman. Perhaps a servant? Or worse, Hannah Wright. It's coming from the forest. And just right up ahead, in fact, not too far from the house. Regardless, I give the place a quick, wary glance before following the noise. Carefully keeping the shadows one cautious step after another. Louder and louder it goes as I near. Whoa, what the fuck? Until it abruptly turns into a loud, desperate anguish cry. I break into a run. One nervous hand ready on the gun holstered at my hip, and the other raised for bounce as I scurry across a dense understory. Dead leaves crunch into my shoes, but I pay it no mind. There's only the voice, the woman, and nothing. Abruptly, it all stops, and I'm met with a sudden hush. Blank. Empty. Almost deafening in its stillness. Even with my labored breathing and pounding heartbeats against my ears behind me, another branch breaks and...
Help me.
Oh, this is the first time she's using her real voice? Dread surges within me as I spin around and take a hard step back, ignoring the chilly pinpricks crawling at the back of my neck. But before I can even meet her eyes, the world unexpectedly pitches sideways, tilting, and tilting till the ground beneath me finally crumbles. My hands fight for purchase, only to meet air. By then it's too late. My foot slips further and the rest of my body follows. Dark spots blur the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the far distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing noises of her laughter. But more than that are the voices, lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs, jeers, scoff, and deride. Over. It's because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over again. And why won't you believe me? A reminder of what I failed to do and who I failed. What I'm trying desperately to fix. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off ever so slowly. A chill seeps into my every nerve in my body, washing away every sensation in me apart from one. There's only fear. Once again, her laughter echoes. A sound both bitter and unforgiving. It's the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. How do we get here? Half darkness greets me when my eyes finally snap open, the soft patter of dripping water somewhere spurring my conscience ever further. November 1st. Ooh! Our first day on November 1st! Finally, some new content. For a few short moments, I remained still, blinking away the dizziness. Allowing my vision to adjust to the lack of light, my breathing to even out first, before pushing myself up on one arm and attempting to stand. Turning alone is a struggle on its own. An inch of movement sends a stab of sharp pain right up my arms and my back, giving me pause.
Shit. I hope it didn't break anything. Fuck.
There doesn't seem to be any injury or major fracture. Although, my whole of my back does feel sore and raw. I'm probably from when I skidded down prior to landing myself here. A comforting thought. The second attempt comes easier later, though, no less painful. And by the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me gasping in short, shallow breaths and leaving heavily on the wall nearest to me. Behind me, a light draft blows in from where I've fallen in, coming in short, sharp bursts into what's apparently an underground tunnel, and brings in the fresh, earthy smell of rain from the topside. Regardless, it fails to mask the old, musty scent of the place, a mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something distinctly foul, like death. More worrisome than the putrid, festering smell, however, are the cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside some of them, but I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into at the moment. Knowing how long this mansion has stood, and somehow, no matter how unexpected finding the existence of this place is, it isn't too surprising.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
Probably not, unless he's also the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out at the first opportunity, and have it demolished. The very idea of what's occurred in this place years ago makes me reel, as well. I've known long ago places like this tend to hold secrets. This, though? If this is just the tip of the iceberg, I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself, and the tale behind that fucking letter. But fear is inconsequential, and unpleasant as unpleasant as the sight of this is, this place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last gulp of clean air, I push away from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
Turns out that alone is too much to ask for this early. No 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises above my footfalls, rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel, before fading away just as swiftly as it rang. I pause, nevertheless straining my ears for more of it while I gradually move my hand to my side, slow and steady until the tips of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Although cold against my skin, it's the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long minute, I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out of me in the form of a long, slow exhale that reverberates around the whole passage.
Who's there?
Marianne! Perhaps it's because of what happened earlier and how I've ended up here, or maybe it's because of my training. But in spite of panic and fear in that voice, I don't immediately answer. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster and wordlessly draw closer to where the voice rings out once again. Afraid, frantic, weak?
I'm asking you a question. Who's there?
It's only after I've realized the safety do I answer, while continuing my approach in a careful, steady
I think
pace.
I should be the one asking you that. Who are you? Show yourself.
I can't. I'm stuck in here.
Well, a ghost will definitely not be saying that, or have a conversation like this, or be stuck anywhere. And as if to prove her point, she extends a hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back, grips on the iron bars, and rattles it tightly.
I can't get out. Can you help?
In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell, and sure enough, there's a woman inside. Slumped on the floor, holding the bars with shaking hands, clinging to it as if it's the only thing keeping her upright. And not just any woman.
You? McLaughlin?
I don't think anyone's making laughing about this situation. The same one I met at G's 5 days ago, smashed, drunk, and babbling her frustrations about her employers.
Holmes?
No, not McLaughlin. McCullough. Marianne McCullough, famous interior designer extraordinaire. Not so extraordinary now, with how exhausted and feeble she looks, trapped in a jail cell of all things. Her breathing's shallow. There's a paleness to her complexion. Sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin, all signs point to starvation and dehydration.
What? You How long have you been stuck in here?
3 days? 4? I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I just fell in, and that woman...
Oh, Marianne, honey, sweetie, I'm so sorry
Whatever.
for you.
Can you get me out of here? Please.
I'll fucking pop a cap on any ghost that gets near
In
you,
a
I
moment.
promise.
But here, go feed yourself first before you fall over.
I fish out an energy bar from my pocket. Oh my fucking god. I can't believe it. Can't fucking believe it. Can't fucking believe it. The fact that he always carries a fucking energy bar on him came into fucking play. It actually came into play. Chekhov's energy bar. Of course. For sudden emergencies or extended stakeouts, a little sugar keeps me going. Like any starving person, she wastes no time making a grab for it, unwrapping it straight away and taking in a whole mouthful of it. Relief washes over her face on the first bite alone, although she's gonna need more than that if what she said is true. But for the moment, it's enough to keep her alive. Good thing she seems to have the sense to prioritize survival over comfort, if the puddle in the corner of the cell indicates anything. Without water, the human body can only survive 3 days, no food, and I'll give it an average of 3 weeks. Though, even then, it won't be a pretty experience. Granted, some have survived longer than that. She's still fortunate I found her when I did. Now to get her out. My bobby pins won't be of any use here, not like I need it. Unlike the ones we have at the precinct, a simple barrel hinge holds these gates of the cell together. Even without any special tools, I'll be able to lift the door and free her. However, with how heavy it seems, I'll need a lever of some sort to help.
What are you looking for?
Cute.
Some wood, a 2x4, I guess, a plank or a pipe. Anything I can use as a lever. Wait here.
I don't think she has much of a fucking choice. The hallway yields nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered about. While I may find something in one of those open cells, I'm reluctant to check or even step in. We can't have another person trapped in here, however McCullough ended up inside.
Well, there's no...
My head snaps back to her. McCullough extends a wooden board from under the mess of hay and twine near her. Without prompting, she slips it through what little space there is in between the bars. It's short, but it appears thick and sturdy enough for my intended purpose upon closer inspection. Oh yeah? You need a thick and sturdy piece of wood, eh?
Good enough.
I hope. I get to work at once, anchoring the other end of the plank at the base of the door and applying ample force on the other end. It takes a bit of effort, no kidding about the heavy part. Still, a grunt, a gasp, a creak. In a matter of minutes, with a little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifts off its hinges. It falls on the ground with a loud, ugly metallic thud, but the sound of it puts elation on McCullough's face. She doesn't even ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she's accidentally found herself in. More than happy to get out of it, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Achievement unlocked, prison break.
After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there. If you didn't show up... today. I don't even want to think about it.
How did you even end up here?
For a second, she appears hesitant, looking away and fumbling awkwardly with her fingers.
I was looking for something. Someone.
A contemplative expression flickers in her eyes, something that's close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. It doesn't last too long, though, but it still leaves me the impression that I've suddenly walked into something private. Something deeply personal for her I'd rather not ask.
So this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
The wine cellar.
Right into the kitchen, then.
There's a door of some sort. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry. And I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans.
What do you mean?
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here. People died in this place. Kids! Oh God! Kids! I could have shown you, but that thing won't turn back on anymore. It's like it only waited for me to see it before shutting down or something. How long has that thing even been in there? But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
The bloody letter! Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me. But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
Mikala, one at a time.
It's all that fucking paper's fault! Oh God! Oh God! Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer...
Mikalo!
Abruptly, she stops, looks back at me with a wild, panic-stricken eyes. I've seen enough of it so many times these past few days, from my own friends even. To know she's seen things, the kind that'll easily make any person go mad. And perhaps we slowly are. The longer this takes, the faster our descent into it becomes. I can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. Seems like no matter what we end up with, there'll be something horrible waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me...
What? No! Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gotten raving mad yet? An exit's right here.
And this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not. He can just go.
But are you really sure you want to leave him like this? And what about his wife?
It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her and her shoulders slump. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me, only tell me enough info so I can figure it out on my own. She can always leave afterwards, be done with this whole damn mansion and letter. The other end of this tunnel leads right into the forest. It'll provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. All the same, she steels herself and squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
That's more than enough.
She nods, albeit weakly. Then, without another word, she gestures for me to follow, leading me further into the passage. Hey, there's the board. Occasionally she'll stop, find purchase on the wall to catch her breath, but throughout the short walk she asks for neither a break nor assistance. I suppose that's something we have in common. Eventually we get to a dead end. Although before I can question her on it, she begins palming for something on the wall, tracing her fingers along weathered edges of bricks with a frown on her
It
face.
should be somewhere here, I think.
What the hell are you doing?
She merely holds up a hand, begging for my silence, then continues searching. Then, without a warning, a few minutes later, something clicks. A portion of the wall shifts ajar to reveal a glimpse of another room. The Borg collection? Like Borger? Borg! Borg! Bottles lining the wall, liquor barrels for aging. The wine cellar indeed.
The ladder to the kitchen is on the far end of this room.
Surreal. This is all nothing but a surreal nightmare, but after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages? I can't even bring myself to question the existence of this door anymore. I don't watch Star Trek. I'm not big on sci-fi. I simply follow her to the undercroft without a single question, in spite of a number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mystery and detective novels, daring chases, interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blinded, I admit. Now, I simply want this to be over. We leave the door open in case there's a need for a quick exit, especially after she mentions it's only by chance she's been able to open the door last time. We can't waste time finding the switch again on the occasion something goes horribly wrong. It's not that I don't like sci-fi, it's I don't follow or watch a lot of sci-fi things. So I've never really gotten or cared to get around to watching Star Trek, Star Wars, or any of that, really. There's bound to be, with me feeling this high-strung intense, I'm not even sure why I thought it'd be a good idea to enlist Mikala's help. Although, she has been quite helpful so far, I can't shake off the horrible feeling something's gonna happen to her if she stays with me. The answer is Doki Doki Literature Club. Jeez, You think, what, with this Doki Doki Literature Club looking ass fucking layout I got going on for Wednesdays? Even if I'm her safest bet, if she wants me to get out of this place alive.
You really believe that, don't you?
There's that fucking girl again!
Did you say something?
McCullough pauses mid-step, turning to me, confused.
I didn't.
You sure? I just heard.
Don't you think I'll be the first person who'll know? Look, the ladder leading to the kitchen's up ahead. You might want to hurry. I just want to be done with this place.
See? You dragged another one.
This time, I'm sure. There's really a voice. Well, voices. Despite the look of protest McCullough shoots me, I find myself stopping and looking for it, searching the immediate surrounding for a familiar form of the woman. I don't even have to venture too far from where I'm standing. Just an arm's length away from me, mirror shards litter the floor, and right on the biggest fragments, they speak. Oh, what the hell? All singing the same mocking tune against my ears, letting it echo throughout the small Undercroft. Murmurs and laughters, jeering, scoffing, deriding, lacing venom into every crevice in my head, taunting me.
You dragged another person into this, Ashton.
Into another one of your silly little problems.
All because you can't fix them on your own.
Ha! That's fucking funny, Amenable.
You really haven't changed, have you? Some hero you are.
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
Damn, this game kind of full of coincidences for y'all, huh? I feel it's been happening the entire time we play this. My mistake lies in the first instance I've answered. The very second denial slipped from my mouth, their words have also seeped into my heart, allowing out to prod at and rouse my temper. Despite knowing they're merely doing this in to goad me, each word, each syllable trickle into me, spurring the guilt I hope I've long buried.
Are we? Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time? Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps?
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder? To know you're responsible for all of this?
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late. And you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a fairy, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends. Can't even solve a case for an old man.
Can't even bring Luke right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together. No wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are. Some friend you are. Some son you are. You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Shut it!
I hate this. I hate how this monster can easily get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity it knows, to hear it said in my friend's voice even more so. But what I hate above all of it is...
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it. You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore.
In the end, your own incompetence will eventually lead to the deaths of everyone you care about.
It laughs, sharp and piercing at its sound. Something in me snaps. A rage hastily unfurling, red filling my vision, and next thing I know, I'm raising my hand and something grabs my wrist, followed by a buzz as another voice breaks through the
Don't
haze.
listen to it!
The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every senses. All at once, there's that deafening silence. Slowly, I become aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and a hand holding onto my wrist as if to keep me from hurting myself. In my hands, a sharp blood drips from where I was cut in my palm, trailing down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve. Not too deep, negligible even. There is pain, however, a different kind. An ache somewhere else that stems not from the wound, but where every single word is hit. When I glance up at Makala, she merely stares at me with wide, horrified eyes.
Don't listen to it! No matter what happens, don't do what it says! It's how it gets us.
My grip on the shard falters, but only after I nod and drop it entirely does she release her grip. Afterwards, she simply steps back and looks away, hugging her arm close to herself. She breathes a sigh, heavy. Perhaps weighted with her own guilt, what this monster might have used against
Come
her?
on, we're getting close.
She walks off without another comment, but there's worry in her as she gives the fragments one last glimpse. On the ground, they lie lifeless now. No more voices, no more insults. But even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ears.
It's useless, Ashton Frey. You are going to die.
And you are going to die alone.
A fear. One that's been long kept in the darkest place of my heart. One that a small part of me wishes for. The trapdoor swings open without much fuss. It isn't even locked, probably left open for when Wright asks for some midnight snack. I make sure the coast is clear, of course, before I pull myself and help Makala up. The butler of theirs is nowhere to be seen. Ah, bad news, Amenable. Johannes is nowhere to be seen. He's probably sleeping, attending to his master, or doing some extra late-night work before turning in for the night. Meanwhile, Wright won't touch anything to do with menial chores, not even with a 10-foot pole. It's next to impossible for him to linger here. No servants, not anyone. This fucking sucks. All this work and not a crumb of Johannes. And just as easy as that, we're in. Gently, I close the hatch. If things go well, the same path will be our way out. If our luck doesn't hold, that's not an option now, is it? I have people waiting for me. I really don't want to think what might happen. Sometimes it's best if we simply revel in the little victories. They're great blessings when everything else is going against you. And in a place like this, fraught with unknown dangers, it's a feeling that lasts only but a second. Suddenly, a sob. Ringing out from some distant part of the house, echoing through its empty halls. Beside me, slumped on the ground, pale and breathing heavily, Makala immediately tenses. Her eyes go wide, and she grips the side of the counter with the force that might be enough to crack it, if only she has the strength. As it is, she can barely stand. She hasn't fully recovered, makes sense of the 3 or more days without proper food or water. And it's this weakness that puts fear in her eyes. She's aware. If something happens, if there's a need to run, she won't be able to. She's a liability at this point.
Holmes, I really don't think going any further is a good idea. Look at this place. Everything seems fine. Nothing's off. Maybe we should just go? I really don't like the sound of that.
You really don't have to come with me. Just until the kitchen, yeah? We're already here. You've done your part. From here on, I'm going on my own.
Yes, I said that, but...
Can you even stand? putting
Oop,
yourself
I
in
didn't
more
read
danger
that,
if you
my
follow
bad.
after me.
She doesn't answer. Okay.
You have an easy way out of here. Stay here. Once you're okay, I need you to get yourself out of this place.
What? I'm not going to leave you.
Well, I'm not taking you with me either, lady. So it's here or out there.
You really are mad, aren't you?
Probably all will be, if no one fixes this little curse problem we have.
You think you'll find something in here? This is just a mansion, for God's sake.
Maybe it's worth a shot. Besides, if what we're hearing right now says anything, I'd say scumbags.
I hear a car.
Who?
Right. He might be knee-deep in trouble and he has no idea about it.
McCullough still appears as if she's about to argue, so instead of more words, I unholster my taser and hand it to her. A standard issue for every member of Luxborn police force, but it shouldn't take a genius to know how to aim it and fire one. Even Isabella may just be able to use it without training. Yet, Miss Interior Designer Extraordinaire stares at it as if I just handed her something particularly nasty.
Listen, you want to wait? Fine. I'm leaving this with you. But if I don't come back here within 15 minutes, I want you to backtrack and get the hell out of here.
Are you daft, Holmes? I already told you.
In case something goes wrong, I need someone who can tell people what's going on. Who can tell my friends what might have happened here. They're at the crawl. You know the place, right?
I trail off, letting the meaning of my words hang in the air. I want to be optimistic about this, really. However, I'm going against something almost everyone can't quite understand. I hope she ends up accidentally tasering him. That'd be fucking hilarious. I'm just being realistic with my chances. McCullough seems to understand this as well as after what I've said. Any sign of protest has already died from her tongue, and she simply looks at the taser quietly. After a moment, she just nods. Beyond the walls of this room, the cries continue to grow louder, and I take it as a sign to leave. Without another word, I slip out of the door. Like a siren call, her voice beckons. Finding out who that is seems a good place to start as any. I keep to the shadows for the most part. Not that there's any need to. The entire place just feels empty. Let's see. What's the drawing of the journal? I bet it's the taser. It's the taser. Odd. When a house this big should have large stuff, you'd think there'll be one or two roaming about for some late night chores, or someone seeking out whoever's creating this ruckus. There's none, however.
Shouldn't they have security posted inside as well?
Unless their security means the butler, though. I doubt Scumbag's that sloppy. He loves his life more than anything. Nope, security definitely means the butler. We've encountered that security firsthand, and it is scary. Probably more than his own wife. And the things he's done, he's bound to make more than one or two enemies. He's also the kind who'll do anything to keep himself safe. Alive.
I wonder what he'll say when he finds out that there's something not human living with him in his own house.
Potential dangers aside, being on my own grants me a greater degree of mobility, which I'm more comfortable with. Sure, I could have enlisted McCullough's help. Next to the people who owns this, she's probably the one who's more familiar about the mansion. But the cons of freeing her outweigh the pros. She's better off somewhere a quick exit's in sight. With no tag along, I only have to worry about myself. Watch my back. Selfish, I know.
Unnecessary.
In the same manner this whole plan is, no matter how idiotic going into this is. Besides, I don't really need a guide when the house's layout is fairly simple, almost mirrored with only a few modifications in her rooms. Although I've only been here once, I think I already have a good grasp on this place's ins and outs. As long as you can tell which is east and west, it shouldn't be hard to find my way around. After the dining room, the main foyer should be in the next thing that greets me, where the woman's cries are leading me. Honestly, after what happened outside, I'm not even sure if I should be trusting what I'm hearing. But with the whole house somehow seemingly devoid of any of its inhabitants, I'm inclined to look into this. More than surviving this curse, a huge part of me is my training
Just
speaking.
hope this isn't a crime scene I'm walking into.
But nothing's ever that simple, is it? Not when you're dealing with the supernatural, nope. Because as soon as my feet crosses to the next room, something shifts. Oh fuck, we got Silent Hill Otherworlded up in this bitch. In a flash, nearly without fanfare, it happens in the blink of an eye. I almost miss it. One moment there's red. In the next, I'm standing alone in the foyer. For a brief instant, I pause. Glancing wildly around the place, blinking twice as if my movements will spur the vision back. Yet, nothing. It was literally for just a moment, Amenable. For just a moment, everything had that like Silent Hill color palette of like orange hues and blood all over the place. Rusty, dirty looking. No blood dripping on the walls, no trailing down the stairs or pulled on the floor, no eyes watching with my every movement. Only the same cry is gradually growing in intensity the longer I dally, along with the voice. Oh, that's new. Desperate.
Where are you, Mother?
Pleading.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
Coming from the same direction I've heard the cries from. Upstairs. The place is not entirely empty then. A better question now is who? Definitely not Scumbag or the butler. I've yet to see hide nor hair of them, and not knowing their whereabouts puts me on the edge. I have to be careful not to make any noise or be seen. Maybe the wife? Though one can't really tell if it's her. The way the walls echo her voice, nevertheless, it pushes me to move. Are you guys seeing that? Like, it keeps saying story updated, story updated. I guess a lot of our choices are coming to fruition here in this chapter. As if the house has several eyes watching my every movement. As if something alive dwells behind the walls itself. Hey, we Silent Hilled again. I try to shake it off. But the uneasy sensation has already made home at the pit of my stomach, dread, and it only grows deeper the closer I get to her. Another journal entry, huh? Oh, it's Art of Ashton and his Glock. Hell yeah. The relative emptiness of the place doesn't help either. Neither does the harsh wind battering the windows, nor the sheets of rain pelting down the roof. For a fleeting second, I find myself wishing for Scumbag to simply show up. I don't get too far down to the train of thought, though. Abruptly, the cries stop. Placing it with, yeah, that's... Oh.
She's here, Mother. She's going to take me.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue with the text being all the way at the bottom of the screen, is that the face tracker tends to, think I'm not looking or my eyes are closed.
She won't leave, Mother. I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away. Mother! Mother, she's here! Help!
That can't be good. Adrenaline overcomes me in a rush. In no 2 heartbeats, my feet's already moving before any sense can catch up or doubt creeps up to me. My hand's ready at the holster, and I hastily set off the far side of the hall. One alarmed footstep after another while struggling to keep that sense of panic at bay. A door lies ajar at the end, and coming from the floor above,
She's going to hurt me! Help me!
I do not hesitate. Moving in despite the lack of light, the steep stairs, or the thick layer of dust kicking up with every step, I pause, only a moment upon reaching the top. Then, without wasting a second, I push the door open. Oh, hold on. She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. It's as if she's heard neither my footsteps nor the soft creaking of the door continuing undisturbed, like I'm standing in a time far removed from her. That's not who I was expecting to be the one crying. That shit's blood, bro. Yeah. I wasn't expecting the crying to be her this whole time. I thought it was the other lady, you know, the ghost, not this ghost, the other ghost. She doesn't even flinch when I call out to her.
Hey, are you alright?
This track is so good.
I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please.
Achievement unlocked. Whales in the night, huh? I have to see this. Throughout the hallowed halls, her voice rings. That's it. That's the achievement.
I still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Belatedly, I notice the blood in her hands. If it's the same one drenching the whole attic, I'd rather not know. How the whole room's ended up like this is the least of my problems at the moment. Even a single human body doesn't have this much blood. So, bodies? The thought sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. Does Wright even know about this? He's bad news, alright, but this? This is beneath him. He'll definitely balk at the first sight of it. Anyone will. Yet the woman lingers here, unmoved by the sight, letting her sobs fill the room, repeating the words over and over again like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mess of parchment she left on the floor? Just what the hell is happening?
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of that question never makes it out. I don't even see it coming. Should have been more aware and on guard, really. But there's little I can do when a well-placed blow to my back... the back of my knees makes me stumble. Johannes, now is not the moment. I just know it's him. Now is not the time, Johannes. The momentum alone sends me reeling forward. It barely even registers in my head that the woman's gone and the room's as normal as it can be. Not above the pain suddenly shooting up my side when I hit the floor. I don't even get the chance to get my bearings back when a hard enough blow to the stomach causes me to buckle down and land heavily on my knees. Gasping, I fumble wildly for my gun. Although before I'm able to turn, level it, and shoot, a hand grabs my wrist and twists it. Hard. It's definitely Johannes. A gasp, a grunt. A cry of pain slips past my mouth. The gun falls to the floor with a thunk. As soon as it lands, a foot kicks out of my reach and it slides uselessly under the bed. Agony suddenly explodes in my chin, jerking loose a sharp cry of pain, and stars fill the edges of my vision. A brief moment of regret hits me for leaving my taser with McCullough when a piece of cloth closes around my neck. Without warning, my attacker pulls. Tight. I'm left gasping, choking, and clawing for air, blindly reaching behind me as I still try to fight him off and loosen the pressure on my neck. Except any sort of movement only causes him to pull and taunt.
So many rats scurrying about in this mansion lately.
You hear that, Amenable? Wright's butler. Shit.
Tell me, what did you do with the madam?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hana, right? Yeah, what happened to Hana?
Let go, you asshole.
Now, Doomkopf, you're in no position to be rude. Last time I checked, I'm not the one breaking into other people's homes. Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam?
The pain rings and resonates through my already sore body. Still, I managed to write it out and spit in munitions.
You.
Keep that dirty mouth babbling and you're getting a knife in the kidney. I assure you, it will be more painful than this.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice his name! It says Right Lackey! No! Johannes is so much more deserving. He really doesn't need to threaten me by now. It's all too much to bear. At this point, my lungs feel like they're burning with the lack of air. Dark spots begin to fill the edges of my vision. Ever so slowly, the world around me dims. My consciousness rapidly slips away from me. And without meaning to...
Get away from him!
Whoa, Isabella! Hearing that voice as if it's been doused with a bucket of ice cold water. Familiar. Too familiar. And more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hearing it here. She shouldn't be here. Immediately, my eyes snap open. Whoa, she got the taser? And right there, right on the attic's doorway, stands Isabella of all people. A rolling pin on one hand, a standard issue police taser on the other. My taser. She must have borrowed it from Makala. Where else could she have gotten one? I doubt she's ever used one. Hell, the way she holds it right now, this guy can easily disarm her in one hit. But there's something in her. In her eyes. Although there's a look of fear in them, her hand shakes. She keeps the weapon trained and pointed at Scumbag's lackey. Yeah, I know, right? Just a glimpse of Johannes. There's his hair, his flowing hair, his threads, his chin, his glasses. Untrained or not, she does not plan to leave here without putting up a fight, it seems. Admirable, really. But it's just not something we need right now. I need her to be away from here. I need her safe. But the chances of that happening grow slim with every laughter that slips from him.
Oh, this is just getting better and better. The Bratwurst won't be pleased with the number of bodies we have to dispose of today, you know. Tell me, how many of you are there? So I can prepare the proper number of bags.
Damn it! What the fuck is going on? Why is she here in the first place? Did she follow after me? I mean, I'm assuming that's just his go-to word for people who break into the house and are scurrying about. Who else came with her? Although something tells me that if Luke is like a big time criminal with ties to the underworld, you know, like black market shit, from Johannes's dialogue, it seems that he's also very well aware of the illegal doings of Luke Wright. Zach? Rebecca? Are they all here? Panic surges within me. She knows how bad the situation is, but does she really have to run in here and expose herself like that? Does she even know how to use a taser? For fuck's sake! More than worrying for my life, it's her I'm concerned about. I can see what you mean, but it's... Again, I definitely see it as rats scurrying about the house. Because we are breaking and entering on private property. He literally has no clue who we are or why we're here. Every time I try to frown face it. You gotta fucking hit the space way to get the Twitch emotes. Hey, Juan with the hat redeem. What hat do you want? Don't forget, you can use !! hats, and you'll get a list of hats. Getting strangled, dying by choking isn't part of the plan, but her following me here isn't either. This is why I prefer to do things alone. This is why I'd rather be the only one to take the consequences. I don't even want to think what this bastard might do to her after he's done with me. Though my voice comes off nearly a croak, I try to tell her as much. She has to leave. Stay far away from here and these people.
Don't! Damn it, Isabella! Get out of here!
Another bout of pain erupts on my side. Cutting off my words, a cry of agony bursts from my mouth. I can taste blood in my tongue as I heave, attempting to get in as much air despite the towel still coiled around my neck.
Ash?
You're going to lose air quickly that way, Dummkopf. Better keep it shut.
Get out! 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 Val!
Don't be stupid! I'm not leaving you here!
He laughs. Too cruel, too unforgiving. The way each note beats against my ears in spite of the warmth in them sends chills down my spine. This is a man whose hands have already been stained with blood before. He won't
I'd
hesitate.
follow his advice if I were you, little girl. What could you possibly do with a toy? Just hand it over and be on your way. It'll probably be too difficult for a little girl like you to use.
There's a moment of silence. Fuck, I can barely keep my eyes open. But in the next second, though, I still don't exactly understand what's happening. Isabella shouts. Not a cry of pain, not a yell of panic, but one that's resolute, firm. Perhaps in a tone that's leagues fiercer than any I've heard from her before.
Try me. Ashton Duck!
I do. More out of instinct and desire to survive, closing my eyes before my mind can fully process what's going on. It all happens in a blur. The telltale sound of a taser being discharged resounds throughout the room. The air crackles. Something whizzes by, almost too close to my ear, followed by the thud of something blunt connecting solidly with another object. Next thing I know, the towel strangling me has started to loosen. I collapse on the floor, dazed and grasping for air. Johannes finally arrived just to get tased! It's good to see you again, Johannes. He laughs. I collapse on the floor, dazed and gasping for air. From my peripheral, through the haze of blood rushing and sound slowly filtering back, the butler buckles. He spasms once, then, without much fuss, falls face first beside me, knocked unconscious by 50,000 volts of electricity and a fucking rolling pin. He'll be out for a while. Love to see him, but what a loser move! I have no idea whether I should laugh or cry at that. Somewhere in front of me, my oxygen-deprived brain vaguely registers Isabella's form. She slumps on the floor, also breathing heavily. Right next to her trembling hands, both the taser and the rolling pin lie useless and forgotten, while the mood in the room eases. A long, gradual process of the tension lifting. For countless seconds we remain quiet, with only our short gasps and sighs to fill the silence, allowing the adrenaline to ebb away and both our breathing to slow. Not a true repose by any means, but simply a brief respite. There's still the curse. We're still inside the mansion, in imminent danger. We still have no idea how to fix this. Outside, the rain seems to only intensify. Lightning flashes, fleeting somewhere, white and piercing. The sky rumbles. No rest for the wicked. I stir first, once recovered, having regained some semblance of sense and strength. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving, although every small motion causes a wince. There will be bruising tomorrow. I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy. But only with some effort, I'm able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one end of a handcuff on his wrist while fastening the other to the bed frame. That should keep him restrained for a few hours in case he wakes up prematurely. All through this, Isabella stays quiet. In fact, she hasn't even moved since. Her hands still shake and taking in long draws of breath while she stares vacantly in front of her, almost as if she's in shock. Perhaps she isn't even expecting any results, spurred only by some kind of desperation. Now it's sinking in. Unfortunately, we need to get moving. We don't have time to wait for everything to register in our heads. Kneeling in front of her, I give her a light shake.
Belle, we need to go. We can't stay here.
I think that's just the thing, though. Luke Wright was so confident that his butler is the hottest shit that he did not give him any sort of protection whatsoever. Johannes is the protection. If Johannes fails, everything else fails. There is no going back. Johannes is the last line of defense. Johannes is the only line of defense. Also, Juan, you haven't chosen a hat yet. Pick a hat, Juan. If you don't pick one in 5 minutes, I guess we'll just have someone else choose. Slowly she turns, staring at me with wide eyes, Worry flickers briefly in them, along with something ineffable. Then, without warning, she lifts a hand and slaps me across the face. The sound of it cracks the air, shattering the silence like a fragile glass breaking. Despite the familiar rumble of the thunder outside, it manages to ring louder above the storm. I don't even know what hit me until my head's already snapped back and my cheek stings with her anger. And it is anger. In spite of the stillness and the lack of words afterwards, not fuming though, never fuming, but the kind that burns lightly and soundlessly. A frustration instead of a seething rage. One that ebbs just as quickly as it flows, and once the tide subsides, there's only that gleam in her eyes, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. Quietly, I brace myself for the truth underneath that gaze. It slips from her lips softly, never fading under the sound of the rain still falling fast, if not for the weight in each of her words.
What is wrong with you?
Belle,
If Zach didn't slip up, no one would have known where you went.
Belle, one person knowing is enough. Any more than that, and
You almost died. He could have suffocated you right then and there, and you could have died.
I told Zach to give me 4 hours. That would have been enough time to...
It would have been too late. And by the time anyone ever finds out, you're already fertilizer.
She trails off, dragging one indrawn breath after another. A brief lull as her frustration finally gives, dissolves into something more pensive and somber. Her shoulders droop, and though her voice rises, hoarse and weary, in her next words there's only certainty.
You count too, you know? When I said that night, when I told you that I don't want to lose anyone anymore, that includes you. Alive. We're still here, Ash. You have us.
And once their meaning fall, roar, it does so not with the force of a dam breaking or a raging storm, but with the gentle, steady warmth of a hearth burning, an ember easing slowly, lightly, rising and giving until all that's left is the truth, an understanding. Not alone. Never alone. Yeah. Give me sketch art of Isabella slapping his dumb ass. Nice. It lingers, even as we both drift back into silence and her words take root, because in the gratitude that swells after is another warmth blooming. Pleasant, welcoming, like finding home, like finding ourselves in a haze, a squall has left, creating something fragile, yet immutable in both of us. It's in her eyes, in the way she holds my gaze, unwavering, in the way she carries herself, despite sitting amidst a place she fears, in the way she keeps herself from trembling and falling apart, because fear is inconsequential. When people she cares about are at risk, a change. She realizes that now, holds on to it. Another little thing, another small thing from her that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first, but began to matter to me one day until, despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips, as the same warmth from earlier unfurls in my chest. Unhurried, familiar, and bright from all these years I've carried, but have never given the words for it.
Stop smiling like that, Ashton. I'm not done scolding you.
But this time they come easy.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too hard on the head. Here, let me...
I reach up as she extends a hand towards my face, catching her wrist in a light grip, drawing it close and folding her hand in between mine. Although her expression does shift into mild confusion, she does not pull away like I'm expecting. She simply stares at me, searching. For her to allow a gesture from me that's perhaps too close, it tells a lot how far things have already shifted in the past few years. Crawled in mine, her hand still trembles. Most of the tremors have already subsided by now, though I doubt it'll fade away this soon. Even as I trace the lines of her palm in what I hope is a comforting gesture.
I'm sorry, Belle.
For what?
is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later when...
No, well, this too, but it's not just about this.
It's for a lot of things. For calling you clumsy and careless and a scatterbrain.
Are you sure this isn't a concussion?
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Well, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too. For all the times I've teased you and made you cry.
Unexpectedly, her fingers tighten around mine, our hands falling between us as something tender shifts the air. Another exhale. Another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainties. But when I finally choose to break the silence, it's only when I know that what will slip past my mouth is one truth I'll hold against the world.
But for all those callous words, despite all those, there's nothing that I don't love about you. In fact, those things, I love those. And everything. Everything that's you.
For a long moment, she offers no response. Her grip on my hands merely tightens. Although my heart's pounding hard against my ears, I take a chance and I look up. Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than ready to hear her rejection. Instead, I find her on the brink of tears, with an almost unreadable expression on her face. When she notices my eyes on hers, she hastily reaches up and wipes it with the back of her hands. It doesn't keep them from falling, and soon they trail down her cheeks despite her best attempts. It's kind of cute, but also damn, straight people. It's fine. Let them have their moment. But they've already been outdone by a different couple this game. To say this is panic shooting right up the base of my throat is a complete understatement. This isn't how I've expected things to go.
Hey, Belle, did I say something wrong?
Well, you just confessed your love for her right after you nearly got murdered in front of her.
Why would you? I don't even have anything.
What?
I don't have anything. I'm not rich. I live off instant noodles almost every day. I can't do anything properly without someone helping me. Except maybe if it's drawing, but that's beside the point. I didn't even get to graduate, even if I was so close. I'm not even sure that scholarship will get me anywhere. And ever since I came here, in the 5 years you've known me, I've got us into all kinds of trouble. So why would you even say that? I'm not...
Maybe it's the moment itself that spurs me to it. The desperation, the fear of almost dying, that I've already said more than I'm usually... I totally fucked up a moment there. That I've already said more than what I'll usually allow myself, and I might as well finish before I lose my nerve. No matter the reason, I reach out for her. Gently, so unlike the way she barged into our lives so many years ago, the way she came in, it would leave a terrible impression on anyone, really. And yet, it's people like her that you don't easily forget. It's them that gradually worm their way into a person's life, until the very thought of losing them becomes unbearable. Isabella trails off once my palms brush against her tear-stained cheeks, but she neither pulls away nor pushes my hands off. Rather, she looks at me wide-eyed, with another searching look. I only have one answer for that.
It doesn't matter. All of that is still you, and that's enough for me.
No promises, only truths. Perhaps the only genuine thing I can offer her at the moment. What are you? Hey, hi, welcome for joining. That's totally okay. I'm just glad you're able to stop by, say hi, or even give a lurk without saying anything. You do you, Arayu. We're always here for you. Also, it has been a little more than 5 minutes. Juan never chose a hat, so would someone else like to choose a hat? We don't even know what'll happen or if we'll ever survive this. So instead of words, I lean in, our foreheads briefly touching, before brushing my lips tenderly against hers. The kiss is nothing intimate by any means. Yeah, let's get Ronald Reagan 2 up in here. Where? Wow, Reagan, you damn bitch, you big. Damn bitch, how you get so big? Also, why is it behind me? There we go. What the fuck? That's not what I meant to do. I only want to move Reagan. Why is the game moving? I am just trying to move the president himself. Oh my. Okay, can we not? What is happening? Okay, there we go. There we go. Is this bitch taking my man? What I miss? You missed your chance for your man. We've been playing as your man this whole time. Reagan was a part of the game all along. Always has been. Truth is, it's been Reagan from the start. The game was Reagan from the start. Why is Melgato here? Okay, hold on. Let me readjust this to the way I like it. Stop snapping. Can you guys like see this? Can you physically see the snap? I hate that. I hate the snap. Okay. Alright. Back to cucking at IU. You lost. Fuck! I lost the game. There's a brief second on our lips. Once our lips touch, when she tenses, unsure, a long moment of not knowing what to do with her hands until she settles them on me. Slipping it up my arm in a light grip, too afraid to make a mistake or hurt. But for now, it's enough. It's the closest we can come to it. Rather than give out empty promises or grand proclamations, we have this. Something she soon understands as her shoulders ease and she permits me to draw her closer, deepening the kiss. Softly and gently, a short second of simply allowing the world to melt away around us, and this to roar above anything else. Achievement unlock! You kissed a girl. What was the achievement, actually? Instead of words, finally utter a truth you'll always hold against the world. I see. Like every little thing between us is built up to this one single point in time. A moment that becomes ours and ours alone. Something to hold close until all of this is over. We part later to the sounds of the world rushing back to us. Thunder, rain, and lightning, all to remind us both of a reality we have to face. Enough to dampen the mood and force back the worry I've temporarily forgotten. Yet, when I glance back at Isabella, all she has for me is a small smile, bright and hopeful. Do we get the kiss? Do we get a drawing of the kiss? There's the kiss. There it is. Look at his soft face and the way he holds Isabella. How Ryu wishes Ashton would look at him and hold him the same. One day, Ryu, one day. And it's strength enough. One that I try to draw from when I rest my forehead against hers one last time before leading us both out, her hand in mine. So what happened, by the way? I missed a lot. Whoo, boy, you missed a lot. You missed more than a lot. We got to play as Rebecca. I don't even think you were there for that. We were playing as Rebecca. We honestly got kind of close to Luke as Rebecca. Surprising, I know, right? But it all became, we got kind of close to Luke all because we bashed him over the head with a textbook and kicked him in the nuts. And then kind of felt bad for him, but also not really. But, yeah, Rebecca finally admitted her feelings to Ashton, but then also admitted that she's kind of been a fool for being in love with Ashton for so long and not getting anything in return. And that it's so clear that he obviously is into Isabella. And she conceded. She says, I love you, but I don't want an answer. I just want you to know. I just want to get this off my chest and move on finally. And I was there for that. I was so happy for that. That's the character development I fucking love to see. I'm glad for her. You were there for a bit of the Becca playthrough. Okay, yeah. I only started playing as Ashton, and Ashton's playthrough took place right after the party, instead of at the beginning of the game like everyone else, thankfully. We escaped. Ashton finally started believing in the ghost, and now he came to the mansion alone to investigate. He found Makala. He found Marianne locked in the cellar underneath the mansion, and he freed her. And by freeing her, he gave her a taser in case she ran into any trouble. And then I guess we ran into Johannes, and Johannes was about to kill us. And then Isabella shows up with the taser that we gave Marianne. So she must have met Marianne at some point, and Marianne gave her the taser. And then she saved our life, and now we kiss. Yeah. Johannes is fucking handcuffed to the bed, and we making out right in front of him. Oh yeah, a lot happened. Everyone got into fights. It was like getting angry. A whole bunch of shit that I'm kind of like skipping over, but I'm just keeping you up to what happened as of now. Power still hasn't come back. When we make our way downstairs, tricky, considering the stairs to the attic are a bit old. One misstep and anyone might end up slipping and falling. You're lucky if that's all that'll happen to you. German accent. God damn, I cannot stand these heterosexuals. I'm trying to do a Johannes German, but I'm not very good at it. Johannes is strong, intimidating, he has presence, has sex appeal. And I only have one of those things. God damn, I cannot stand these heterosexuals. Now to be fair, we can always just headcanon them as bi. And that'll make it a little more bearable. It's like that Iron Man 3 scene. If you try and escape, I'll tase you and watch Super Nanny while you drool on the floor. Yes, Johannes has sex appeal. Did you see how hard he could choke a bitch? With the stairs this steep, a broken neck is a likely outcome. Yeah, sex appeal is the only one of those I have. Thankfully, Isabella's here to guide me through the darkness. She knows this place better than anyone, after all. In spite of all the misfortunes it's brought us.
The floorboards over there aren't very sturdy.
Right on cue, the same board I'm stepping on creaks and suddenly breaks. The piece is falling somewhere with a dull thunk.
Oh shit. Scumbag wouldn't be too happy about that.
Nah, it's fine, listen. We only deconfirm the bi-ness when it says in their profile if they are straight heterosexual or straight up lesbian. It says here in Hana's, she is 100% confirmed bi. Everyone else is assumedly bi. Oh, he knows Luke's name? Oh, actually, yeah, that's right. He's been investigating Luke the entire game because Luke may or may not be responsible for the death of his professor's wife. Luke might actually be a criminal scumbag. Bi until proven otherwise, yes.
Ow, foot.
It hasn't been confirmed yet. We have no evidence. But he's hard pressed that Luke Wright is, even if Luke Wright wasn't the one to kill our professor's wife, Luke definitely had a hand in it and it is the reason for her dying. I will cut off Luke's toes.
See? I told you so. You never listened to me.
They renovated the whole mansion and they can't even replace one tiny part of the house.
Why don't you file a complaint to BRC then? I'm sure they'd be thrilled to hear it. You know it was such a rush job.
Outside, the winds have intensified. Even from here, I can hear the gusts battering the window into the attic. It makes you wonder why, up until now, the only person we've encountered from this house is the butler. Although, to some degree, that makes sense. He is in charge of running this place. Where are the other servants, though? In this storm, wouldn't anyone want to stay inside? A likely assumption is they're all asleep. The route I've taken doesn't really pass by the rooms they've likely assigned as the servants' quarters, however. They've also heightened security. I brushed it off earlier, thinking they'll be posted a lot closer to where the master's rooms are, but the second floor is devoid of anyone as well. As if every inhabitant of this place has suddenly disappeared overnight. More importantly, where's that scumbag? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The fact that we're here right in the fucking middle of it makes me all the more queasy. And that feeling only escalates once we reach the landing that Isabella swings the door open. She pauses abruptly right in the doorway that I almost ran into her. A look of confusion's in her, as she looks wildly around the place, wordlessly taking in her surroundings. Yeah, I know, right? It was such a good scene. I genuinely teared up because I was so happy for her. Like, obviously she's got a lot more to work with, and like clearly she's not as okay with it as she says she is. But she recognizes it, and she wants to move past that, and that's really like the big kicker. With each turn and shift of her eyes, her shoulders only grow tenser, and a look of apprehension slowly draws on her.
Isabella, what are you...
We aren't supposed to be here.
Sure enough, when I look up, we're standing around the kitchen, pots, pans, and all. In one corner, Zach and Rebecca watches almost as surprised to see us. McCall is also with them, of course. She didn't listen to me, even if I've already exceeded the 15 minutes we've agreed on. Although, color and strength seem to have returned already to her, enough for her to be able to stand unassisted. The empty plate on the counter appears to have played a part in that. Good news, I guess. As for the other two, however, relieved as I am that they had the senses to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion, I can't help but roll my eyes at both of them.
Zach, I said 4 hours.
I know, but Isabella asked, and... Come on, bro, you know I ain't a very good liar.
And it didn't
I
even
love
occur to
him.
you to stop her?
We all tried, all right? She was out the door before we could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
All three of them exchange a look. One that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Isabella who speaks up, albeit with a bit of hesitation.
We heard someone scream, Ash. It led us here.
Without warning, the door behind us slams shut.
We need to get out of here.
Screw right. I need to get these people out of here. Lucky we're in the kitchen and we have 2 ways out. The back door and the cellar offers. Has Ghost Lady killed anyone? A few times. You were there for one of them, but she hasn't outright killed anyone new. Only when we get game overs and only Rose. Doing a B&D with the homies. Oh, fuck. Except the hatch won't budge when I pull at it, and neither does the back door, as if something's locked it firmly on the other side. Zach also gives it a few tries, but even with the big guy's strength, it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. We're trapped. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Fuck! In that same moment, once realization draws in, something shifts again. Blood. In every nook and cranny, over every surface, and in every inch of the floor. This time, unlike the first one I've seen, it remains, and gradually, the whole room begins to reek of that familiar metallic scent. Sharp, suffocating. Around us, every object, including the cupboards, have started to rattle as well. The sounds from outside, foreboding rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds have begun to fade away, replaced by whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Though inaudible, each beat and note bombards every crevice in my head with vague images and sounds. There's no time to make sense of everything, however. I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders and making a break at the door that leads to the next room, the dining. It should take us straight to the foyer where the main door is.
Move! Run!
Right in front of us, the mansion started to change, and we're in the thick of it. However, instead of the dining room like it's supposed to open to, the bedroom welcomes us instead. An image that lasts only about a second before blood begins to seep into the room. Spooky! Let's see what the journal did. Ooh, a door. Filtering into the walls, trickling from every nook and cranny, everywhere. Furniture shakes, and every beam rattles. Before we can even step back from the horror gradually unfolding in front of us, the door slams shut. A loud thud breaking a sense of dread and chill creeping up into each of us. Along with it is another realization. The whole place is reordering itself. And with the door closed tight behind us, showing no signs of budging, even through sheer force, there's no choice but to go forward and hope to all gods that it'll lead us to an exit. Until then, running's the only thing we can do, spurred by nothing but fear and a sense of desperation to live.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
But with each room we pass, it only becomes apparent that the house has no intention of letting us leave. It lured all of us here and we've fallen for it. Now it's playing a little game with us. A sordid form of amusement. For who? The laughters are the only thing we can hear. With every hall we cross and door we slide open, the hope of finding an exit merely dwindles. The gun in my hip is useless here. I'm useless here. Some fucking genius I am. Some fucking person to trust I am. All of those? They mean nothing in the face of the unknown.
You finally figured it out. Huh, Ashton Frey? Just give it up. All of them will eventually die because of you.
And you are going to die alone.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it. You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
Oh, I totally forgot. Goodbye, hat. Goodbye, Reagan. The more gruesome the place turns, the bleaker our chances simply get. Wails and screams fill our ears as we pass by, words from a time and people long gone, laced with nothing but pure agony, calling out, reaching out to us. Their voices almost too real, as if we're not the only ones trapped here, that there are others begging for release from this wretched place. Or maybe it's all just a show, a taste of what we will eventually be. Souls forever held captive in a never-ending nightmare.
Mother, I've done nothing. Take me with you, please. I can still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Is this what the curse is? Was it meant for all of us? That the letter, not a morbid cry for help, but an invitation? A beckoning for unsuspecting souls to be dragged into this place's horror? To be put under centuries and centuries of torment and agony? Suddenly, dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Or perhaps it's all the same. Still, hope worms its way into me, not a usual thing for someone like me. But after going through countless doors and corridors, every little sign of hope I'm willing to cling to, as long as it'll get us out of here. We're back in the dining room again. How long have we been running? And how long since we've left the kitchen? At some point, I've lost track of time. With the windows barred tight and the sounds lifting from the air, nothing but shouts and shrieks, it's impossible to tell. Not that it matters when an end is in sight. Shelves and furnishings barred the door, each stained with blood and gore, that if the situation isn't as desperate as it is, I'll find a different way out. But there's still a gap left at the topmost part of the person to go through, as long as you use the shelves to climb.
It's next it all right.
From here, I can spy the familiar walls of the foyer. Relief, only relief washes over me. Although my legs have been strained, taut by all the running, and every bone and muscle in my body ache, there's only an easing. A sense of tension relieving while energy back flows through me again with the sight of an end. No sooner I'm leading us out of it. Zach helps McCullough first, assisting her up and through the gap before giving a hand to both Rebecca and Isabella. The moment the ladies and I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, he does that without any protests, not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place has calmed down. No wails, no whispers, just a silence, too deafening. But I'm not letting my guard down until everyone's on the other side of this nightmare, safe. For all I know, this may just be a calm before another storm. Without further incident, however, Zach makes it to the other side, and I'm following after him. However, all this hushes, I turn my back from it and climb up. It's a tight fit, but I manage to squeeze myself in. The unease remains though. Maybe it's the adrenaline still coursing through me, or how easy everything has been after living through that nightmare, fleeting as it is. But for some reason, something's still nagging at me. Call it a detective's instinct or my training or whatnot. I have a feeling something's going to happen and catch us unprepared. Unconsciously, before dropping down the better side of the dream, my hand shifts to the gun at my hip. Instincts never failed me before. My feet haven't even landed firmly on the floor when...
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home, can you believe it? I feel so left out.
This motherfucker! A chill seeps into every vein in my body. All of a sudden, every ache, every pain returns to me tenfold, and my knees threaten to buckle at the sound of his voice. Luke fucking right. Though it appears friendly, I know it's anything but. One doesn't spend investigating a man like him for over a year, holding a grudge against him for more, without knowing everything about him. His quirks, his habits, I'm familiar with all of them. And right now, Luke fucking Wright is beyond pissed. Shifting my gaze upwards is nearly too painful knowing the danger. Not to me, but to those who've been lured in here by the curse. Of course he's got his own gun. The handgun catches my eyes first. Next, that smarty smile on his face while he holds McCullough, Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella at gunpoint. Look at Becca. She doesn't give a fuck. She's ready to throw hands. Look how bald her fists are. And Zach, oh, they're ready to fucking throw down. These two can take on the world. I'm sure she wouldn't be as terrified if she wasn't, locked up in a prison cell without food or water for 3 days. Yeah, let's fucking go! The only guns they need are these two right here. These two are great, but I know the damage these two can do. Oh yeah, Marianne was locked in a prison cell for about 3 days by the ghost. We freed her. The handgun catches my eyes first, next to that smarmy smile on his face, while he holds McCullough, Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella at gunpoint. It's sight enough to lodge a painful thorn up my throat. I've been too complacent, too focused on everything that I've completely set aside the fact that scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. But even with those, good intentions, curses, and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing in his home. The question is, if he's even aware that the whole of his household has somehow disappeared, and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck! Even with people he knows among the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry. I might
Scumbag.
consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he waves a handgun at them, as if it's just a mere toy with his words and no threat. The safety's off on his, nothing stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but at the slight gesture, I draw my own and level it at him, finger on the trigger and ready to release a safety catch in case things go south. Ooh! Yo! Yo, they got opposite colored handguns though! Rival battle. We were just fucking talking about rivals yesterday. I'm sorry, Ashton, that your rival has to be Luke fucking right. Oh, that is such an anime-ass fucking drawing, but that's so good. He's quick to train his own on me, though. And just like that, we're at a standstill.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall.
They even have opposite fucking colored ties. Like, maybe not opposite, purple, but purple's close to blue.
You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Wait, does he have a tie? Ash does have a tie, I don't think. Never mind. It's just his whole shirt's red. Shooting him right now will be so worth it with the way he stares at me like I'm a damn pest. But this isn't what I've come for. I'm not a murderer. As much as I loathe him, I'm not the kind who will kill people in cold blood for my own gain or amusement. The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing, something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? This scum is so full of himself. Prefers to hear the sound of his own voice more than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Probably the only way I can make him listen is if I beg. No way in hell that's happening. Disarm the man!
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
I don't think twice. Within the span of a heartbeat, I'm moving and pulling on the trigger. Whoa! Two shots in quick succession echo across the whole foyer and both hit their mark true. Wright recoils with a sharp cry of pain. His pistol falls useless to the floor with a loud clank, followed by drops of blood from his bleeding wrist.
You insolent!
He's down in 2 successive steps when I tackle him on the floor, pinning him hard with my arm. Although, before I can knock him out with a solid right hook, an agonized wail bursts through the sense of air. Loud enough to echo its okay, I want to see if he shoots us in the other one, though. I want to see if he pulls, so I'm going to load the file. Beg him to listen. My life's not the only one at risk here, however. There's Zach. Oh! Hold on, this might actually be the right choice. There's Zach. There's Rebecca. There's Isabella. Okay. Maybe I'll see through to the end. Nah, I don't know. We'll see. McCullough's here as well. We're all unknowingly victims to this fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick who to save and who I should simply let die. Yo, it's intense. What's happening? We broke into the mansion. The ghost threw us in. What's the word? Something space. The ghost threw us in impossible space. Once we got out of the ghost dimension, like the hell world, Luke Wright had his gun ready at us. We're at a standoff. We shot Luke in a different like a different choice, but I want to go back to see if he'll shoot us. And as it turns out, I think this is the right one. Because we got a bunch of notifications. The story has changed, the story has changed, the story has changed. I think we need to beg... But yeah, we're having a standoff, and we're trying to, like, get him to understand that his house is fucked. There's an angry-ass ghost. I suppose my pride can take a few hits, and I can set aside my beef with this asshole. Taking a deep breath, slowly I lower my pistol. Though still on edge and at ready, in case he does something, I do my best to assume he's less aggressive stance.
Listen, Wright. I need you to...
Whoa, achievement unlocked, swallow your pride.
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
I mean, to be fair, you are, but...
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's heard all his life. The only thing missing for him is to kneel over and start rolling around on the floor, all while I do my best not to sock him with the sorry end of my pistol.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home. You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
He's right on that, at least. I might have ended up like him if I didn't have Professor Andrew, Rebecca, Zach, and Isabella. One mistake and it would have been too late for me. With his laughter rings all those possibilities I could have lived, but I've never been given the choice. Right? All because I have other people with me. People who care. A sobering realization. But not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. In 2 heartbeats, he marches towards me, grabs my collar, and aims his gun right at my head.
Ashton! Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
At this distance, a slight flick on that finger on the trigger will be able to do more than kill me.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the second time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
He's a piece of shit, but he's definitely intimidating in this situation. That's some good dialogue. I keep my eyes trained on him, in spite of the huge threat he possesses right now, because if there's anything people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. You don't give that impression without keeping solid eye contact.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger.
The VAs in this game are amazing. Yeah, they're really good.
You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Why, you insolent!
His finger moves, but I'm prepared. My hand ready to reach up, disarm him, and knock him out. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person who's died from this curse, so be it. However, before either of us can fire a shot or tackle the other to the ground, another voice echoes throughout the foyer. A small little thing compared to the storm raging outside. It rings above it, nevertheless causing all of us to stop and turn. Whoa! At the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands. To make matters worse, that thing's behind her, menacing, a rotting hand wrapped firmly around her neck. She looks like death. Pale and shaky, eyes red with tears, we nearly don't hear her as she pleads.
Help me. Please.
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky. As if the whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. Ooh. Luke's chapter, holy fuck! Okay. Okay. I am so fucking ready for this. I have been fucking waiting for this. His fucking name is Lucille? Lucille Mitchell Luke Wright. Birth date, August 2nd, Leo, 31 years old. Height, no! Don't make me the same height as this asshole. I wanted to call him short! I wanted to make short jokes about him. I just felt it. I felt that he was gonna be short, but nope! He's regular fucking height. He's normal height, god damn it. We're the same height. Fuck. Sorry, Ashton, you're the baby. Occupation, President and CEO. Nationality, British. Religion, atheist. Race, Anglican. Education, high school dropout. Was not expecting that. Privately tutored. Likes bread pudding, dogs, wine, and absinthe. Piano playing, daffodils, money, women, and power. Ashton's very short. He's only 5'5". A prostitute's son. He spent his childhood roaming the streets, begging or pickpocketing in order to avoid home. Home meant a too-drunk mother and her equally drunk clients, some of whom would take a beating to the child out of anger if he so much should look at them wrong. That meant he was always in trouble, in one form or another. Nothing was done to correct it until, in a sober moment, his mother found out about the abuse and promised to take better care of her son. Luke was happy for a while, but his mother's bad habits led to an early grave and left him orphaned until his biological father, a businessman with no legitimate heir, sought him out. He was trained to inherit a right enterprise, but along the way, got mixed up with the illegal activities that put the company in a bad spot after his assistant ran off with a large sum of dirty money. Bankruptcy would have been inevitable if he hadn't married Hannah. Huh. Not the backstory I was expecting. Very interesting. Hey, guess what? Before we play as Luke, there's something I want to do. Okay. Alright, so if he counts as a ghost, we just get him killed and bam, best ending achieved. You're not wrong. I've learned that people are abused and tend to be abusive in the future. Yes. Character. Okay, give me just a second. I'm just making sure I have my information right. Whoa. Hold on. Excuse me? Hold on there. Huh. Really? Hold on. Okay, to get the true ending, that's definitely not happening. I have already fucked up the true ending. I'm gonna assume that this is information Zero is being taught in the class, because I know Zero is being taught psychology or something. But that's absolutely not completely the case. Oof, how so? Alright, well, I'm just gonna straight up throw this out. 3 of these characters are supposed to be dead by now. The only way to get the true ending is if 3 of these characters are already dead. So the fact that everyone is alive here and now, yep, means we're not getting that ending. If we want to see the true ending, we have to have 3 certain characters die. And I am shocked, to say the least, at who the 3 surviving characters are. I read it. I just wanted to make... Because I knew that I have to go back, and I thought I had to watch everyone die to get those, like, memory fragments, right? And that was the way to the true ending. That is not the case, apparently. Amenable, I'm not saying that you're the type to be abusive. I'm not so bad any people have to die. And I was reading Zero's thing. I'm positive that the information Zero is learning has been... What's the term for it? He's condensed lessons and lessons, but absolutely that is wrong, but still I want to know where he got this information. All I know is that he's taking classes, but if you feel that way, Amenable, that's fair and valid, and I do hope to see you again next week, and hopefully I'd have gotten an answer straight out of Zero and understand why he said what was said, and we can figure it out. But I wish you well, Amenable, and I'm sorry that we upset you this stream. So best ending people have to die. Not best ending, the true ending. I feel like we're on the path to the best ending, but the actual ending of the game, people have to die. Best ending should be true ending, you'd think. And to say that I'm scared of what's happening is a gross understatement. Trouble of any sort is the last thing I want to get home to after a long day at work and a trip to the bar. And when I see Hannah near prostrate, I can only feel dread. She twitches and seizes, body wound and coiled tight before thrashing, shuddering and shaking. Like a woman possessed, her mouth falls open and her eyes roll to the back of her head. As the hallmark signs of a seizure, the symptoms are similar enough. There, I fucked that up. And that knowledge, the fact that I know this, only makes me feel worse. Any anger I had caused by our disagreement on parting ways, no matter how temporary she claimed it to be, disappeared. The alcohol-induced daze that I felt was brushed aside as I run to help her. None of that matters at the moment. But to hold her close is all I can do while she thrashes about. I know this is wrong. I'm not supposed to hold her down, yet I do it out of instinct. Reflex, even. I'm terrified of hurting her, but I see no other way to keep Hannah from hurting herself. It takes a lot to keep myself from running off to get help when she needs me here. And it takes everything I have to keep myself intact. When she says my name, I realize that seizures have stopped. But that doesn't make the dread go away.
Please.
Thank you for the hydrate.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
I remember this, but I don't remember why she's on the ground. I don't remember specifically. I think we're in the kitchen, right? The sight of her tear-streaked face is enough to twist the knife in. It does not help that I'm as lost as she is right now, and all I can say is...
Shh, it's alright. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
Takes a bit to go through the house with my inebriated self. It's even made worse by the fact that I had to carry a nearly unconscious person as well. I was about to give up too, until Schrocken shows up to lighten the load. He quietly takes her from me without question and brings her up to my bedroom. Or to the bedroom. And me? Well, I couldn't bring myself to follow, not right now. Not while I'm drunk and rattled by what had transpired. It's a miracle I was able to help at all. So here I am, sulking in a parlor chair with a glass of wine in hand. Can't even remember what particular vintage it is. I practically do not care right now.
Because when you're already
Why'd you bark
drunk
at me?
and still have problems, even more alcohol should help.
Of course, the butler chooses not to appear and to be helpful.
You know what actually solves all problems? Death. But it is not recommended. Alcohol isn't a true solution either.
Why does he call him Schrocken?
It's worked well enough for me.
I'd like to believe that I get my best ideas while I'm thoroughly hammered. Not everyone might agree, but they can really do anything about it, can they? But a fuck ton of money comes with great power sometimes. Responsibility. With that responsibility comes a lot of reasons to get drunk. Of course, I can just tell responsibility to sod off. If I was feeling reckless, and Christ, I might be really drunk if I'm thinking in circles. I just need something to focus on, and I should be fine.
How is she? Is she alright?
If panic crept into my voice at the question, I don't let it show. It'd be a show of weakness. It'd be so frazzled to show so much concern over a woman who's going to put me aside. People like him who work for me, I trust with business, but not with myself. Never with that. Only Hana has come so close. Only she's truly seen the man behind the facade. Only her actions can wound me so.
Sleeping. Aside from a few bumps and bruises, she seems to be fine. A maid is watching over her for now. It is best not to leave her alone. But, if I may ask, what happened? I was in the gardens when I heard screaming. Did you...
No, it wasn't me.
I'm quick to be on the defensive. I may be capable of a lot of horrible things, but I would never harm her. Of all people, no matter how angry I might become, I would never lay a hand on her to hurt her.
I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything like that. I don't even have a reason to.
You don't consider her wanting to be a part as reason?
It isn't. Well, it is. I don't want to talk about it right now. But what happens was I got home. She was seasoned in the kitchens. Is she ill?
Not that kind of doctor. But I've already scheduled your physician for a house call tomorrow morning. We'll still have to monitor her as soon as she wakes up and...
Oh god, things are coming back to me. I need a drink.
Really? You're still drinking?
Why, yes, it seems to be the bloody best time to be drinking. I'm allowed, aren't I? After all, I've just found my wife having a seizure, and I shouldn't give two shits about it. Not when she's about to leave me.
But I do. Goddess, I do. Goodness, I do. A big generous gulp just makes it so that the taste of the cherries, raspberries, and strawberries wash over my tongue. The thing too sweet considering its deceptively earthly aroma. A Vale's Vineyard, seasoned red, isn't really something to scoff at. I've had many good memories with this particular drink. Yeah, this was at the end of her chapter, if I remember. She had seen the ghost and was freaking out? I don't remember. Her chapter was a while ago. And then Luke, despite being drunk and despite us telling him we want a divorce, comes to our aid, and that's when he grabs her and holds her, and he's like, "You're gonna be alright, I'm here for you." And then that's when her chapter ends, if I remember. This particular bottle, in fact, was a gift. It serves the purpose. Lady Blairnot had given it to me to forget. All the same, whether I took this bottle of Pinot Noir, it just means to an end. Probably have to finish the whole bottle to get drunker than I already am.
But no, she doesn't need to be taken care of. If she wants her time apart, she'll have it.
It'll break my heart just to let her go, but she deserves this much, doesn't she? We both deserve this much.
She's had her uses.
She's done a lot for me in the 7 years we've been together. I pursued her at first for the money. It was supposed to be strictly business. Might have been in time too, when I considered taking her out of the picture so that I can do with the money as I pleased. I planned to manipulate her, and I feel horrible thinking about it. But along the way, I had changed, if only for her. Perhaps my father would scoff, tell me I've gone soft. Maybe I have, it doesn't matter. 7 long years. Had its ups and downs. It certainly hasn't been a perfect marriage. We had our fights. Who hasn't? But those small moments, we could just laugh and be our happy selves, were always magical. They made all the years worth it, and I'd seen so many more years to come. So where did I go wrong? I've loved only 2 women in my life. Mother dear, bless her soul, and Hana, who's been my sunshine for so long. Losing her, I feel that I might become more like my father. Had Damien Wright stayed with Mother, or any of the numerous women he's had a child with, would he have been less of an embittered shell of a man? Would having a darling love in his life made him a better person? Perhaps it's biased for me to doubt so. I don't think I can ever see the old man in a favorable light.
I'm just surprised that you're not afraid. She might be leaving with delicate information.
Yeah, hadn't changed enough, right? He changes when he's around her, but not enough. At the end of the day, he has always been alcoholic, power hungry, money hungry, monster jackass asshole.
Oh, she might know something. But if she hasn't done anything with the knowledge for this long, I don't think she would do anything now. If she had even an inkling of what I've done, what I'm capable of, she'll know it's not a good idea. Hana's a smart woman.
Smart, kind, hardworking, and generous, loyal. Oh no, he's still terrible. He's just nice when he's around her, or at least the first few years of their marriage, relationship, whatever. I could go on and wax poetic about her if I had any talent with the stuff.
Why don't you sit down and have a drink with me? Don't worry, it's not poisoned or anything.
Lonely? Oh, I suppose there's no harm.
Look at that smile on him. With a shake of my head, I procure another glass and pour some of the red wine. Watching the red liquid is fascinating all on its own, with my muddled brain that I barely noticed sloshing some of it and staining my suit. It'd be an utter bugger to clean, so I'm glad it isn't my problem. Handing it over, I can't help but look up at the ceiling and let out a sigh. My eyes, damp, glaze over though. I won't let it go further than that. Raising my own glass for a toast, I clear my throat.
We drink to... Do we really need a reason to? The world is messed up. War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and love lost. The world is a cesspool. Might as well be drunk if we're going to drown in it.
Oh, Zero. It's fine if you feel the need to go. I would like to have you stay around and sit. And I get it, like, you're going through college, you're learning these things, and you're stating reasons you've learned why Luke himself might have become the way that he is. It's unfortunate, but it happens. You just want to share bits of information and tidbits that you learned. Can't fault you for that. You didn't go into this with the intent to hurt or to offend anyone.
A bit less eloquent than your usual speeches, but zum Wohl.
It was just miscommunication. Like I say, you're taking classes on these things, and just with the brief bio you had of Luke, you want to share a bit of information that matched what you had learned and why Luke is the way Luke is. Hell, I'm positive someone on the writing team probably took similar classes and learned similar things and just rolled with it, and that's why they came up with the backstory for Luke that they did. A sip. A gulp. Refill. Rinse and repeat until the bottle of Velen has barely a fifth left. I must have drunk most of it because I barely see Shrocken take a sip after his first glass. Certainly feels that way. I don't think I can stand up, let alone walk. I'm all legless. My mind just feels so funny, and everything else is equally hilarious. Bloody hell. I think I can make out faces of a bald man on the wallpapers with the butler also standing up. He looks like a skyscraper for where I'm seated.
Jesus Christ, I have Sasquatch as a butler.
I have a great alcohol tolerance, so this, seeing how I'm a giggling wreck right now, is, I assume, really bad. If there's any sober pot left to me, I'd probably shrivel up and die just thinking of the hangover that'll come in the morning. I know, geez, Luke, rude. Sasquatch is like the ugliest of the cryptids. Could have at least compared him to Mothman. Mothman's sexy. But I can't help but get distracted at the sight of moonlight peeking through the curtains, shining and shimmering and absolutely splendid. Lump. Brother, I crave... Lump. What the fuck? Ah, come on! I just wanted to do a funny. This is some bullshit. Alright, hold on. I can fix this. Brother, I crave lump. I don't have the fancy voice-altering technology. I don't have a stream deck. I don't have any voice modifiers, so I have to hold the microphone up to my face and make bad noises, make ugly noises. Although I'm sure enough, the British accent is ugly as is. Alright, cool, fixed it. Hey, also, by the way, as y'all have noticed, it takes me way less time to fix the model. I figured out ways to fix it when it starts bugging out like that. And honestly, it helps my posture. If the night brought calm, it's the noon that always enamored me so. It's a second sun, but just as beautiful as my sunshine. Oop, did not mean to do that.
I want to go out and look at the moon. Mommy, I can't feel my legs.
I can't feel my legs.
Mutter, I am not.
Mutter, you can be? Yes, yes, yes.
Don't tell me I have to carry you upstairs to bed.
You know, Hana, she told that photo man that I was a trying husband. I can't even.
Oh, he heard the conversation with He heard the conversation with Zach. Oh, holy shit. That whole dialogue has me dying. I'm enjoying Drunk Luke. Drunk Luke is fun. He's a complete mess.
The nerve of them, right? He goes and takes her out shopping, and they give me lip service in return. I bet they were talking shite while they were in the store spending my money.
Oh, he knows that they went along shopping together too, huh?
Am I a trying husband, Joe?
I wouldn't know. You're not my husband, are you?
Fucking Johannes with the quips.
But you are a trying Dummkopf when you are this drunk.
I didn't even do nothing. I did my best to behave decent.
Your best wasn't good enough.
Whiskey and Mint are just good friends, that's all. And that Rochelle woman's baby isn't mine. I swear, I couldn't love any other woman than Hana. Hana must be so tired. I'm a brat, aren't I? She said as such. I don't want Hana to leave me, Joe. Oh God, she's the love of my life, you know? I'm a shy human being without her. I should... Flowers. Lots and lots of flowers. All of the flowers. Enough to make the Queen's Gardens look like a fucking dumpster fire in comparison.
Might he be telling the truth about the other baby? Yeah, honestly, he's drunk, and drunks are just like, they're just children. He might actually be telling the truth, who knows? Although the other woman was very, very dead set. I'd admit, you know what? I don't know. He's probably lying, actually. Or he was too drunk when it happened to even know that it happened. When he said Whiskey and Mint are just friends, that's a reference to Marianne's chapter, where when we meet Marianne, we call her Mint, and she calls him Whiskey. And he tried to sleep with Marianne despite being married. And this was before Marianne started working for him. So she had no idea who he was. He had no idea who she was. They thought it was going to be a one-night stand. I made the smart decision not to let them have sex. But he still spent the night because he was too drunk to go home. So chances are he gets really drunk, really shit-faced, and then goes out and sleeps with random women. And then chances are he probably got really drunk one night and slept with the chief's wife. He did do that, so he's probably lying. Well, yeah, once again, he's probably lying. Probably super unaware that he does this. Probably partially aware, but he's so shit-faced every time it happens. He
All
probably
well
can't
and
put
good,
it
but
two
you're
and
not
two
achieving
together.
any of that while you are lying on the carpet. Now, if you could lift your skinny ass and work with me. 1, 2, 3.
But I don't want to go to bed. The moon is so pretty tonight.
I should just let you sleep on the ground, Bratwurst.
Oh, all the way back to October 29th, eh? God damn, there's a lot to read.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
Ew!
This petty face from
Two
day
of
to
my
day.
least favorite things. Children and the British combined into one. Unfortunate.
Come on, Mummy, wake up. I want to be in that play.
Bratwurst, I almost spilled my drink.
Mummy, wake up. You promised that you'd help me practice my lines today. The auditions are tomorrow, so I have to practice. The last syllables of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools. The way to Dusty. Mummy, are you...
I choke back a scream and wake up in a cold sweat. With my heart pounding my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. In the dark and cold of the room, one can't fault me for feeling ill at ease. It isn't as bright as a penthouse, and the renovations did little change how old it feels. I've been here for less than a week. It'll take more time to adjust. It's hard to feel cozy though when I'm bloody freezing. Nudging the lump of fabric next to me, I sigh. Stella! Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome for joining. Hello, hello. How are you? Have you finished with your work for today? Or is this you watching me from work? How are you? How goes it? Officially done. Fuck yeah. Love to see it. I think it's... Let's see. Let me do some quick maps. Quick maps. Hold on. I can't calculate this at all. I was trying to figure out what time it is for you. I was trying to do it in my head. I was trying to run it in my head. What the fuck? Stella, what the hell? Aren't you already #1 gift subber? Hey, Ryu, good timing you come. No, I wasn't. Listen, it's not my fault Twitch changes it. To me, you're #1. You're always #1. Don't do this. God damn it. You don't need to SIMP word me. I can't even say it because the fucking Twitch ban. Enjoy the emotes. You don't need no fancy fucking... Well, thank you for the 3 gift subs, Stella. And congrats, Ryu. Look at that. Hey, congrats, Ryu, Air, and Kyato. Congrats on the subs. I heard they only care if you use it as an insult. I wouldn't risk it. If I use it as an insult, will Stella stop giving me money? Simp. It's that simple. I hear it's only if you get reported for it. Banned. And I know we ain't got no narcs here. Ain't no one gonna narc on me. Banned! You and what authority? Oh please, this Twitch is paying attention to me. I can pop a titty right now. What's Twitch gonna do? I'm just a small streamer girl. A simple creature. Just, where are all my creatures of the fucking night? Weesna. 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 Look at you, fucking Okay, sorry. Sorry, here's the letter. I was gonna say, look at you coming in here with all our in-jokes. Yes, let's get back to the letter. Do you want me to catch you up, or do you just want to jump in blind? Because I can catch you up. Last chapter, the fucking ending of the last chapter, holy shit. The gang's all here, they're all in the mansion, they're fucking ready to go. The fucking ghost has Hana. The ghost is holding Hana hostage. We actually had a square off. Ashton and Luke had a square off. They had their guns pointed at each other. It was kind of fucking sick. Why is Luke scared? No, right? Yeah. It was kind of sick. Ashton and Luke had a square off with guns. In one instance, we shot Luke through the wrist to disarm him, but that was the bad decision. So I went back in time and we begged him to put his gun down and listen to us for a moment. And that bought us enough time for him to realize, oh fuck, there's a ghost who has my wife hostage. And then it fucking hard cuts, and now we're here, back in time. Yeah, Ryu's all moist. Ryu's all fucking moist in their panties. Because of fucking Ashton. Ruh-roh. Yeah, so now we've gone back in time. We had a funny little drunk. It was fun playing as Luke because he started off drunk as fuck and sounded like an idiot. But now he had a little nightmare about his mummy dying, and so we've traveled back in time. We're gonna see how the story plays out. Nudging the lump of fabric next to me, I sigh.
It's cold. Don't hog the sheets, Hana.
Oh yeah, his story takes place right after Hana's story ends, or her chapter ends. This is right after she's asked for a divorce. She always did this though. Hardly bothers me growing up. I was lucky to have something to use as a mattress. Turns out he grew up super fucking poor. His mother was a sex worker. Unfortunately, behind her back, her clients would beat him. Once she found out, she tried to find a new line of work. She got sick, she died. His real dad tracked him down, adopted him, and used him to make money. And now he grew up to be a rich asshole because he was raised by a rich asshole. I'm not one who grew accustomed to the Egyptian cotton with a thread count of 800. Beside the warmth that Hana has exuded on her own is usually enough to keep me sleeping through the night. Anyways, he shouldn't cheat. He shouldn't run underground illegal businesses. He shouldn't kill people. Because apparently he's, there's a lot of blood on his hands. Not necessarily his specifically, but he's kind of responsible for a lot of shit. I think it literally says right here he does a lot of crime. Luke, got mixed up with the illegal activities. Yeah, and he only married Hana at first just for her money, but I guess he fell in love. Still an asshole though, still a piece of shit, still clearly the villain. Shouldn't cheat. But a fun character, I'm having a lot of fun every time we interact with him, especially as of late. Especially because of Rebecca's chapter where he stopped being the punching bag and we got to know a bit more about him. He's interesting. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. It must be considerate. After all, the poor dear is ill. Though I loathe to think about what had just transpired.
Don't make me pull those sheets off you. Oh, that blanket is large enough to cover an elephant. You'll need to share.
It takes a while.
What was that, honey? Apologies. I'm just in a loo, so if you can give me a moment.
Yeah, sleepy Luke voice. Sleepy, drunk Luke voice. There's no sign that they'll be moving where they lie. With care, I go for a knife hidden under the side of the bed. It would be foolish of me to instigate anything while I'm unarmed, after all. To pull back the covers would be a more difficult affair, because reaching out to uncover who was underneath, I'd prepare for anything and assume the worst. If I so much as see the nozzle of a gun, there's going to be a murder tonight. I know they say not to bring a knife to a gunfight, but I think I can sink a blade in his liver faster than he can point and aim. I see the rise and fall of the sheets, though it could easily be mistaken as the fault of the breeze. I hear their breathing. A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan. I should just get Hana and myself out of here, not look back and let security handle it. That's what they're there for. Or maybe I should just man up. There's no way I'm risking the chance that inaction will put Hana in danger. But what's the worst that could happen, right? I've no reason to be afraid. There's no boogeyman under the bed, no monster in my closet. If anything, these things should be afraid of me, right? I grab a fistful of sheets and throw them aside. Ooh, here we go. Nothing. Nothing but a bunch of pillows stare back at me. Ooh. Interesting. In the end, we got cucked. We got hornered. Must be my imagination. I'd rather not think I'm going mad. Did you type that right before I said, as I was saying it? God, we gotta slow down with this shit. This is a stream for general audiences. And I don't mean that in the rating age. I meant that in the sense that I should make jokes that other people should understand. It could very well be the stress getting to me, all this drama with Hannah. I've been doing well all these years, all things considered. I guess I do have a breaking point. But still, the world goes on even if I cannot, and I must go along with it. I suppose a day off or two tomorrow wouldn't hurt. A rest aside from a few hours of sleep will become more than that. But I can't shake off the unease. I dare say that I feel afraid. Irrationally so. That something will come creeping and crawling from under the bed, even as I lay back down and close my eyes. The odd dreams don't linger, thankfully. But with the morning comes another disturbance. Both too loud and too sharp for my taste. And I have a very fine taste. I don't know much about your quote-unquote taste, but I mean, you do know how to pick a good wife. When the piercing rings the doorbell reaches even the bedroom, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only good thing in this is that the ruckus has chased away the needling guilt from last night's commotion, if only temporarily. Oh, is this gonna be Zach? Still, it's a bloody annoying distraction. I can already... Fuck, I dropped my bracelet. I can already tell it's going to be a long day. Hasn't even started. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling my... I almost read that as peeing. I'm peeing myself off the bed and heading straight for the main door. There'll be a murder today if this doesn't let up. How quaint it seems. Everything in this blasted universe is intent on getting on my nerves as of late.
Gordon Bennett! Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour.
In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. Why hire a valet for fuck's sake?
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
I'll be honest, if only for today. With the mansion this quiet at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those little ghost stories might be real. But the only horror here is how long Hannah's patience with me will last after the incident at the party. Neither the deafening silence nor the biting chill spreading across every room in the place. There's no place for fear when another set of problems already burns that fuels. Remember the last time we heard this and we went, God damn it, it's Luke. I remember. I remember it very clearly. So I wait for another second. When no butler still answers my call, I simply yank the door open myself, perhaps more force than needed. Him! And maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side and the hour he dared appear on my doorstep. Oh! Also, Stella, apparently Luke heard everything. Everything Hannah said with him. And Luke is also aware that they went shopping together. Tea, I know. Pour it. Do you have a cup available? Shall I pour it for you? Be sure to hit the reset tea party button first, though. I can't grab anything. Maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side of the hour he dared appear on my doorstep. Even someone with half a brain knows not to disturb anyone this early. Brief confusion gives way to anger before the bloody photographer can even get a word in. I'm hurling venom at him. It's a lesson he deserves, really. Hannah will disapprove, scold me for threatening the man with such disrespect. She hears me right now. She seems fond of him after all. Treats him like a friend she's known for years. But she's not here, is she? What she doesn't know.
You again. It's bloody 6 in the morning. What the hell is it now?
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't.
This is still my home. My rules also apply to this place as much as Hana's do. As simple as that.
Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep.
Just so happens it's also a person I will never take a liking to. No need for remorse.
Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
He continues shouting even as I slam the door in his face. Some nonsense about the news lately, though I don't understand most of it. However, with the closed doors muffling the better part of it, with no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last too long. Eventually he leaves, and silence once again fills the room, as it should. In hindsight, maybe I should also call the psychiatric services. Certainly sounds mental, just screaming like that. Suspicious man like him left roaming the immediate grounds? Nothing good can come of it. But if his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come, I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worst, Schrocken will take care of it if need be. It's what I'm paying him for. In the meantime, the bigger problem at hand, a hangover. Maybe I'll have some absinthe to temper it, dog hairs, or some wine to help me get back to sleep. It's still too early, 1 glass won't hurt. Or 2. Whatever the case, I need to think. Whatever that will lead me to. It's nothing. Everything leads to nothing. Except for this pounding headache. As if my mind will burst at any moment and leak out of my ears, my vision swims in and out of view. My stomach threatens rebellion, with plans of making me throw up what little food I've taken with how my mouth feels. It's filled with cotton. One would think the fact that I'm hungover would make me the grumpiest person in the room. But as it is, my eyes move over to Hana, who's stirring sugar in her tea and scowling down at it. All the while as if she just murdered a baby in front of her. I have a half a mind to bemoan my current state and make a fool of myself just to make her smile. And I'm rather good at bemoaning. Not that I'll admit to that. Why, I'm already adopting the posture of a whiny teenager as I speak. Slouch forward with my cheek on the table.
Oh, I'm dying. Oh, God, I'm dying. Hana? Johans, call an ambulance, please. Let it be known that I leave all my belongings to Hana right near Evans. Everything but 30,000 quid. But oh, I see a bright light. I see a farm.
Not the levels of dumbassery I was expecting from Luke.
Mother dearest, is that you? Little Lucille is on his way home. I'm so sorry, but I must leave you, Hana. Cover my face. Your eyes dazzle. I die young.
What a fucking theater nerd. I'm gonna give him a wedgie. That much I can manage through the hangover. I think entirely of my fault considering I've twice drunk the night before. Another thing I'll never admit. Really, it's a miracle I haven't occurred alcohol poisoning. Yet.
Oh, stop being so melodramatic, Luke. Besides, you never lived in a farm. You hate farms. We are not bringing you to the hospital for a hangover. Really. One would think you'd be used to it by now with how stubborn you are about your drinks. Dare I ask what the 30,000 quid is for, though?
Drama queen. I know, right? It pulls a small smile from her for a moment, but the pinched look on her face returns quickly enough.
He lost a bet with Robert and Elise after a night of drinking at the Crawl. 10,000 each. And another 10 to me.
The sneer that makes its way on my face doesn't hold as much heat as it usually does. It's just a bit of friendly ribbing, though I still wish he wouldn't tattle. Of course, it was my fault for mentioning the money. It wasn't like anyone will notice 30 grand missing from millions, though. That's how much I spend on a normal weekend.
Oh, must you be such a teacher's pet? I told you not to talk about it.
I'm having second thoughts about moving to the penthouse. If this is what you do when I'm not looking.
I've almost forgotten about that little arrangement, too. What the fuck? So dumb rich. I know, right? Absolutely not fair at all that Luke fucking Wright can have a butler as cool as Johannes, a wife as fucking amazing, gorgeous, and a fucking fantastic as Hannah, and all this fucking money, and what do I get? Broken bones and 2 missing organs. Hannah's so stacked. What in tarnation? Did you not notice before? She's absolutely wildly fucking stacked. It's kind of insane. Like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, I never checked his relationships with everyone. Nothing with Isabella. Ooh, yeah, our Hannah's really low. Zach, very low. Marianne's mid. I was looking away respectfully. Oddly enough, we're very good friends with Rebecca. Ashton, incredibly low. Yeah, no, look at how they fucking draw her assets. Pog! Pog! Like, seriously, Pog, holy shit. I know this draws your attention in the form, but like, oh, fucking hell. That is a beast entirely right there. Look with your special eyes. But anyway, yes, the girls are that's Zach. Zach's still very pretty, though not a girl. The girls are very pretty, and I love them very much. And I love Zach very much. Ash, you can have little. You can have little a care, because you are best friends with Zach, so I will little a care about you. You're still a fucking idiot, though, and you're tiny. Little baby man, little baby man, little baby man, little baby man. Oh, wow, look at that. Isabella maxed the fuck out. Rebecca, just a little low. Just a little low. But that's fair. She deserves it. It's for the best. Shame. Hopefully that's the reason why she's so intent on gnawing at the table until it's varnish peels off. The alternative would be sobering.
It was that one time. I'm not a child in need of minding or mother hens. As much as I'd love for you to stay, you said you need some time to yourself. Don't let the fact that I lost a bet once make you think I have to be supervised.
It wasn't. I'm just worried about you, Luke. I'd be less so if you actually sat up.
Why are you worried about me? I'm more concerned about what your doctor told you. How did the house call go?
I don't want to intrude on her privacy when the doctor arrived. A ridiculous sentiment considering I'm still her husband. But it wasn't like I could have done any good being there. What with the nursing and a hangover and all. However, part of me feared what would be said, not to mention, I trust that Hannah would tell me if it was something serious. Of course, it probably is something bad, and I'd be a fool to hope otherwise. Found her having a seizure, for goodness sake. I should have rushed her to the hospital as soon as she awoke. It was her insistence that kept me at bay. A cup of tea finds itself in my hands, an attempt to appease me, no doubt. I don't bother to drink, let alone look up. If anything, I just press my forehead on the table to hide the childish pout on my lips. Not that it's any better.
It was fine. The physician took some of my blood, and he scheduled me for a few lab tests tomorrow morning. I've already called for a driver and attendant to accompany me, so there's no need for you to worry.
Oh, I missed you so much, Hannah.
And what? You'll just be leaving me behind then? And I don't think you should be going anywhere alone.
You hate hospitals even more than you hate farms, Luke. And Kylie's coming for your play date tomorrow, remember? Relax. I'm taking Johans with me if it makes you feel better.
Herr Dr. Hobbs asked that I keep her
Hates
under
farms.
observation for the time
Kin.
being. Naturally, I'll be reporting my findings at the hospital.
Kin, add me to the list. What are you? 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 Are you still there? Thoughts on farms? Do you kin? Are you kinning with us? Sitting up, I run a finger over the rim of my teacup and mull it over. I do hate the bloody place. I thought hiring Schrocken would have been enough for me to avoid the place. Apparently not. Bloody doctors and bloody sick people. I don't want to catch anything contagious. Can't even tell crime people to shut up if they get too annoying. Respecting their grief, my ass. Save for a life and death situation, I'd rather avoid the mass graveyard that hid beneath the sterile air and white tiles.
I guess you two can go without me. But I can't believe how naturally you two conspire behind my back. Don't expect my help if those bloody doctors bleed you two dry. Vampires, every single one of them. Not as bad as lawyers and politicians, but close enough.
Yeah, politicians suck.
You do know Carly will be upset when she finds out you're not here tomorrow. Again.
She'll be happy enough to spend time with her fairy godfather, I'm sure. You're a good role model for her, despite your whining.
Oddly enough, he is kind of good with the kid. Bar that one time, Rebecca hit him over the head with the textbook and kicked him in the nuts because she accidentally assumed he was a child predator and had kidnapped her. No matter how many times Hannah claims that whining is unbecoming of me, I never listen. It's not like anyone that matters is here to judge. I asked if you kin. What are your thoughts on farms? Do you kin? Well, it's not like anyone else actually matters. I'll whine if I were bloody well, want to admit, and I'll be no lesser because of it. Luke's being a drama queen. That's all there is to it. Of course, I will not tolerate another person's whining. Except perhaps for Hannah's, but she hardly ever does that. Even right now, I can see as a look of pain passes on her face and her hand goes to her stomach. Luke is a big baby. Yet she keeps quiet, not bringing it up or complaining. What should I do? Let's ask her if she's alright. Actually, let me save. Where's one that doesn't have a choice already over it? This one doesn't.
Are you alright? Should we be concerned? Maybe we should bring you to the hospital now.
Oh, that gives plus.
I just feel a little queasy, that's all. A bit more tea in me, maybe some more sleep, and I'll be right as rain.
As much as I don't want to get the ending where Luke and Hannah end up together, I doubt it's gonna happen because, again, look at this! There's no beating Zach, baby! Marianne comes into close second. Luke can stay right back there. Luke can stay right behind his little white line. We'll treat Hannah nice, but he gets to stay behind his little white line. I spent a lot of time around people who lie for a living, and I can't help but feel that there's more to it than just that. Maybe it is just as she says, and I'm overthinking it. But I trust Hannah will fess up before things get any worse. She's never really lied to me before. Nothing big, at least.
If you're sure, I'm just worried. You'll tell me if anything is wrong, right?
Zach X Hannah forever. Listen, I love Marianne and Hannah as a ship. Lesbians, I love them. Girls loving girls, love to see it. But I just think Hannah and Zach had so much more chemistry. So they're the cutest fucking thing in this whole game.
You do know you can still trust me. That I do still care about you.
I know that. I'm just going to be moving out soon. Even if it is for a short while, you won't always be there for me.
Did you finish packing before you... I understand if you haven't, and I won't blame you if you've changed your mind after what happened.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if you were there for it, but Marianne and Becca actually have a bit of chemistry together. It was a short moment, and I wish they interacted more, but they're both fucking history nerds. And it was fun watching them interact. Also, tall girl x short girl, very sexy. You did see the library scene. Actually, what is their height diff? Marianne is 5'11", and Becca was Frozen 5'5". Oh wow, her and Ashton are the exact same. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! She's an inch taller than Ashton? That's so fucking funny. Oh my god. Baby man. Baby man. Baby man. He's so small. Not an inch. I'm a buffool. Centimeter. I don't know. Twitch is weird like that. But as long as you still have access to everything. She's a centimeter tall. That's what I meant. Silly. I know! I've been reading for a while. Words are difficult. But yeah. Tall girl in all dark X. Very small Ingy girl. I'm here for it. I ship it. I ship it so much.
You can stay until you feel better.
Also, hey kitty, have you been lurking this whole time or you just pop back in?
I'm still moving. It isn't like you can't visit to check up on me. Although that does somewhat defeat the point. Luke, I'm a big girl. I'm going to get a checkup tomorrow, take whatever pills they tell me to get, and get over it.
Especially if Shark Girl's even more Dami Mommy than the Dami Mommy.
You really don't need to worry. I'm fine.
Thanks for hanging out. I apologize for the bad British. Actually, I apologize for British. That is all. Oh, I do so hate those words. I hide my scowl by taking a sip of tea, finding off the urge to hurl the cup at the wall. I'm fine, she says. A lie. The bad British is Luke, though. I'm sorry, British. Apparently, the sour disposition I have, one not entirely born from a hangover, is still obvious. Without saying a word, Hannah puts her hand on mine and squeezes it tight. Her hands are cold and clammy, her grip is weak. I can sense the small tremors that run along her shoulders and the paleness of her cheeks. She's yet to recover from what happened to her. She's not fine. And I'm not either.
Fine. I don't need to like it, but fine.
I don't think either of us really like it. But I do think it is for the best.
Perhaps we should bring you back to bed. The sooner you're off your feet, the better.
Is that some sort of roundabout way of saying that you want to sweep me off my feet and take me to bed? This isn't our honeymoon. I need rest, mister.
I'm aware that this is the farthest thing from our honeymoon. What if we were not fine together? Teehee. Haha, JK. Unless... No. But what if, though? It's true, she's too ill, Perhaps another time. This isn't how things are supposed to be. She, even while she's feeling sick, she's such a flirt. Oh my god, I love her. Yes, I wish to sweep you off your feet. Ma'am, please. I am SIMPINGing respectfully. I know, Ryu. My schedule's been so busy and I just honestly haven't really been in the mood for Smash. But when I feel it, I'll definitely hit you up. And like, if you feel it and you're free, hit me up and we'll see if I just happen to feel the same way. But I'll definitely let you know. Ugh, yeah, I know. It's rough for us. Hana isn't supposed to leave. Luke is in Smash! Fucking put Luke in Smash. I'm not supposed to let her. And if she ever did leave, it's supposed to be on my terms. Everything's going wrong. But I respect her enough to let her have her space, as she so puts it. If divorce is brought up, however, well, it's another matter entirely.
Really now, you shouldn't have gotten up in the first place. Breakfast in bed exists for a reason.
I won't be explaining anything. I'll let Stella explain Luke and Smash. Cause I'll be honest, I don't get it either, but I think it's funny.
Come on then, back to bed you go.
Are you going to carry me to bed then?
You're far too heavy for that.
Boo!
If you'd like.
Imagine if he was in Smash. Fucking using the ghost. His neutral ability is a gun. So far, the only thing we've seen he can do is get drunk, whine, hold a gun, and apparently have the ghost stand follow him around.
Can you blame me if I enjoy food too much? I can walk, thank you very much.
Ugh. Every moment, I love her more and more. I don't say a word as she clutches my arm to steady herself. There's no protest, she used me as a crutch while going up the stairs. His special is cheating on his wife. Jesus. Oh look, there's him being a fucking baby. There's no protest as she used me as a crutch while going up the stairs. That's as far as I want to go. Judging by the light blush on Hana's face, She's gotten self-conscious about it too.
Johans, look after her, and you stay in bed. I just need to go out.
I have plenty of time to be lonely in the mansion by myself when Hana moves out. For now, I can go and stretch my legs. Fresh air and all that. Breathe. Grey skies loom over in the horizon, though the sun fights for every precious minute and it gets to stay. It'll rain again soon, with the wind bringing along the gloomy clouds, normal to Luxborn. Till then, it doesn't hurt to be out here for fresh air and sunshine. I walk to gardens, what little of it there is at the moment anyway, and kneel by the daffodils. These were the first to be brought here and planted on my request. And if nothing else, they were brought in a sense of peace. They were Mother's favorites. Closing my eyes, I lift my chin up to welcome the light that shines upon me. For a minute, I can imagine myself as one of the flowers, peaceful, blooming, and all too happy to stand in its warmth. Life would be much easier if we were all like flowers, wouldn't it? But I didn't step out here to get all philosophical. I have problems, much more practical than figuring out the meaning of life after all. Too many things have gotten the past few days. Ace Attorney is amazing. Have you played it already, Have you played it already, Ryu? The wrong name. So used to everyone here being purple. And I want to forget about them, even for just a moment.
It's almost all saints, isn't it? To think I've almost forgotten.
Speaking of flowers, do any of y'all have favorite flowers? I speak the words absent-mindedly. A date means nothing to me, as I neither worship the religion nor have any graves to visit, after all. Mother was never given a proper burial. But it's a date, as good as any, for me to grieve. Otherwise, I would have done so every single day, crippling myself and shutting everyone else out. Tulips! Played the first 2 episodes of Chapter 1 in high school and I vaguely remember how much I enjoyed it. But I got it on Steam recently and replaying them. I'm on the start of Chapter 2 now. Hell yeah! I fucking love Ace Attorney. What color tulip, Stella? I can remember how the flames licked at her flesh and how it consumed her body, till there was nothing left but ash. I stood there, watching the operator and social service worker. I could have been left alone for all I cared. I felt alone. It was the most that could be done. No one could attend the funeral of a dead prostitute, let alone pay for it. All that's left of her, proof that she had lived, is her name written in the ledger of Luxborn Cemetery, Elida, and me. I'm jealous. I've only been to, what is it? The USC Rose Garden, but it's been so long I don't remember. I have to look up the name of it real quick, but here we go. I very much adore Strelitzias. What are they called? Strelitzia reginae? Oh, Bird of Paradise. I think those flowers are really pretty. I don't know if you can actually call them flowers. Like the fight. No, USC, the college. Yeah, I really like the shape of those. I used to have a lot of these in a house of mine growing up. And sunflowers too, like really big sunflowers. Again, they remind me of like an older home I used to live in. I used to have oh god, there was this house that had like those massive sunflowers. And I was like a little tiny kid, so they looked really, really big. I always thought they looked really cool. As simple as sunflowers are, I adore them. And Strelitzias just because they look like birds, and I think they look really neat. Absolutely fair, Ryu. They fight with flowers. Pulling out the lighter from my jacket, I can't stop myself from flicking it open to stare at the flame. to run my thumb over her name. Eleanor, an absolutely British name. What a British mother name. All in all, it isn't much, but it's something. It'll be wrong of me not to make something of myself when she would have given everything to make sure I could become anything I want to be.
Feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare right now.
Ellen, no more of this, asshole.
What I would give to have you here by my side, Mother dear. To see you smiling at me. Alive and as beautiful as ever. I'm afraid I'm starting to forget what your face looks like. I've already forgotten the shade of your hair.
Eleanor Chandler was a wonderful woman, though not everyone would have agreed. Not everyone had seen past her occupation, past her vices, and her illness. All they saw was a poor woman who sold her body to make ends meet, and had a bastard son because of it. They didn't see the mother who worked hard to put food on the table for me, the woman who gave and gave and gave to me while expecting nothing in return. She taught me the merits of hard work, but though I loved her so, I worked hard for myself. Will not be so foolish, so selfless towards people who would never give back. I learned that from father, who plucked me out of an orphanage for his own selfish gain. Pocket the lighter before I can feel the urge to actually set anything ablaze. Considering my close proximity to the flowers, they'd be the most likely victim of arson. Just the thought of it is blasphemous. Nevertheless, that doesn't save me from them being picked just enough to make a bouquet of things in honor of Eleanor.
Would you be proud of me if you saw me now, Mother? You're always so forgiving. No matter what trouble I got into, more than I deserved. Especially now.
It's been a while since I've talked to my mother like this. I've been thinking of both my dear parents far too much as of late, when I shouldn't. Of the future to look forward to, and the present to take care of. These memories of the past give me nothing but grief. The life of Lucille Mitchell Chandler should be nothing but a footnote in Luke Wright's non-existent autobiography. It's because of Hannah, isn't it? I worry that she's all too much like Mother, and it scares me. The thought that I'm turning into father is even more so. But even if history is set to repeat itself, I'm not a child anymore. Content to sit aside, unable to do anything to help, and too inexperienced to think that the worst would happen. I have money to buy the best medicines and doctors if need be. She'll get better. She has to. Once we get over this little bump in the road, I can stop worrying. I'll be right with the world. Fortunately, my time alone is cut short.
I think those flowers look beautiful, my lord.
Is Hannah dying? Worse, Stella! Even worse than dying. She's pregnant. Difference is, he doesn't know. She's pregnant and had a seizure because of the ghost.
The parlor, the room where the lady stays for her tea, it could certainly use some.
The voice is not familiar, though I'm not really one to remember such things. Whoa! Hold on. Going with her attire, I would say that she's one of the housekeepers. Strange, well, my chair sunk all the way to the bottom the moment this scene started, and my dog is growling at me, so my model is gonna break as I grab the little rat. Come here. Stop crying. Whoa, I'm back. Is that the ghost, but sexy? I think this is the. It looks a lot like Marianne, but I think it's just because it's a black-haired, long, black-haired woman. And he's gonna cheat and fuck her. This is my guess. We'll see. Okay, so from what I've gathered in the story, I bet the ghost was a former slave who was bought by the original owners of his house and set free. But then Luke is gonna fuck a ghost. It's Ghostbusters 2 up in this bitch. But then they ended up, like, the lady of the house ended up going crazy and burning the ghost, the woman who was supposedly the ghost, at the stake and calling her a witch. I think maybe the man of the house fell in love with their, like, the slave turned servant that they hired. and the woman in the house got crazy, and I feel like the ghost sees Luke as the original man? Because this is the first time she's ever shown herself. Because I'm assuming that's her. This is just speculation and theories, okay? I'm just throwing this out there with what little information I have gathered while playing this game. And like the way the ghost like possessively follows Luke around but hasn't actually done anything to him. Strange, considering I've sent all the staff but Johannes away. And her face, as pretty as it is unfamiliar to me. It'd be a lie if I said it didn't set me on edge. Most would say that I cared little for my employees. That isn't entirely untrue. However, I'd like to think I know people who work for me. Especially those who'd roam my home, even if it's just a face and a name. Besides, I remember such a beauty such as her. So who is this? She's someone impersonating household staff to get in. She's doing a bad job of it.
Didn't you get the memo? Are you new? Today is a day off. You aren't supposed to be here.
I expect poor excuses and apologies like the likes of her often give, but she merely smiles.
Oh, no. I've been a servant here since you first came.
Oh, it's so her. It's so her. I see no signs of lying, nor hear it in her words, yet they can't be true. But I find that I feel like I can relax. She has a sort of smile that makes one's kindness shine through without words or action. It reaches her eyes, filling them with a strange sort of mirth, as if she's just thought of something very funny. Perhaps, had it been any other person, I would have interpreted it as a deceitful grin. Ghost, go the fuck away. But the curl of her lips and the shine of her eyes are too soft to hold any malice. She takes my silence as a sign that she can continue. It's not like I feel any urgency to stop her. I'm not really in the mood for company, but I'm not adverse to it at the moment either. Entertaining a beauty like her, even for a little while, wouldn't hurt. It helps that she proves easy to listen to, despite how oddly she speaks.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have bothered you.
Luke X Ghost. Luke X prison time,
Look
more
at
like
me,
it.
talking to the master of the house without even asking for permission. What will the others think? If you'll excuse me, I'll just...
I haven't driven you away yet, have I?
Speaking all oldie time, I know.
And it's your day off. I don't see why we can't chat a bit.
Of course.
Okay,
If that is
writers.
what you wish, as long as it does not get you into trouble with the lady. To even take time for someone as lowly as me. No wonder that everyone under the mansion's employ is so fond of you. Though it should have no longer been a surprise to me. You have always been such a kind and loving lord.
She absolutely is confusing him for the original guy. I have to stop myself from calling her out on her shite. Someone says she's talking about an entirely different man. She is! No matter how big my ego gets, I know for a fact that I'm hardly in the running for Best Boss of the Year award. The only reason that most of my staff stays because of the decent compensation. I'm not cheap. But if she wants to lay it on thick, I'll allow it. Who wouldn't want a beautiful woman complimenting them? I know, pretty girls, give me compliments.
I'm sure she'll be fine with
Hint,
this.
hint, wink, wink.
We are just talking after all. Unless you had other things on your mind when you approached me.
The words leave my mouth before I even realize what I've said. I panic a bit, though I can get away with picking up women in the city. Sometimes even out of the county, I've always taken care not to do so in my home or my business. I hate Luke's smile image. It's fucking awful. It's ew, gross, nasty. Get it out of here. Not when I'll be so easy for Hana to find out about my infidelity through these channels. No, seriously, I still don't see what the big deal about it is. I just have an itch I need to scratch.
I know it must be amusing to see a girl flustered for a man of your stature. But please don't say such things, my lord. I saw you alone and simply thought you could use some company.
Thankfully, I do count my lucky storms. It seems the woman takes it as a joke rather than casual pass it was intended to be.
So how are you liking your work around the mansion?
It's on
This
his
is
dick.
wonderful, but I imagine the upkeep is ungodly with all the rooms and whatnot. I don't even want to think about how many people are on the staff roster.
Work is work, my lord. It is a way of living, a purpose from day to day. It is certainly far better than doing nothing or having no food to eat. The house itself is also beautiful. There's no lack of things to look at. I'm sure you've seen those books in the study. I can't read any of them yet, but if given the chance, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be thinking of those things. Especially when the rains, they might bring more work to us soon. It will definitely be much more difficult when it returns. Idling about is the least I should be doing.
I guess you can put it that way if you want to be brutally honest about the whole thing. And the rain shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully. Maybe.
If a little dreary at least, she doesn't beat around the bush. I like the honesty. Many would bemoan this status as a household staff, as a janitor or other menial role, and believe themselves to be for greater things. I would not begrudge the idea that one can always get better, but one shouldn't be so discontent with what they have either.
The rain is something I simply must get accustomed to, if I am to live here. I've not spent long in this place after all. But I have been told that it has rained in this nation since a mother's time, and their mother's time. There is little we can do about it. I am just glad to have time in the sun, even for a short while.
Isn't that the truth? Really, these sunny days have been welcome, though I can't imagine they'll last for long.
Her fucking old-timey, like, sweet absolute babiness, and then him, just his fucking modern-day small talk. God, the fucking juxtaposition between the two of them.
Sometimes I just want to pack my things and leave for somewhere like, say, the Bahamas or whatnot. Get some sun and surf.
You do not surf. Fuck you, Luke. Fucking lion-ass shirt. Lion with fucking lies on that shirt. You don't surf. I feel so bad. She's so cute. Don't make me feel bad for the grudge girl.
But certainly, you will return for us, won't you? This is your home, after all.
I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it. This girl, this maid girl, absolutely fell in love with the Lord. If you lay a hand on Hana, she already did. You get beat up. She's an absolute sweetheart, but she already killed Ro. Hold on. I just remembered. We saw the ghost of the original lady. Not the ghost of this girl, but the ghost of the original lady. What if the lady's the one going around killing people? But that wouldn't make sense. No, this is absolutely the ghost of this girl getting revenge on people that she thinks. No. I still want to know why we saw the ghost of the lady covered in blood. But also, I still do believe that, like, her going after Hana is her going after, thinking that she's going after the original lady who killed her. Shinaseki Ryu. Yeah. Well, I mean, she still kills Zack. I don't know why she'd kill Zack. Actually, why would she kill Zack? At the time that her story takes place, I'm just gonna say, I don't think people of color were necessarily people that people like her had to look out for. They weren't necessarily citizens. I don't actually know much about the UK. She's just a bitch. Exactly. Why would she go after a person of color if she was just as... if they were treated just as shit as she was? Huh. Ah, well. I don't think the people who wrote this thought much into that. Yeah, she's just a bitch, most likely. She just wants to get in that rich man's loins.
Your people, they won't be pleased if the master of the house leaves.
She is pretty, though.
I can't very well leave my
But she's a
businesses
fucking
hanging
murderer.
here, can I? I just wish I could actually trust people enough to go on vacation without taking work with me. I've also got to get back here if I ever want proper meals. A proper pudding is something you'll never find out there.
The woman nods in understanding, and I must say that she makes for a fine listening ear. Though what she says next gives me pause, whether she meant for me to hear it or not.
And good tea. From what the cook has been telling me, I've yet learned how to prepare one. Perhaps once I do, it would endear the lady of the house to me. I never expected her to be so unkind after what she did for me. Though it's only if one catches her in a foul mood. I wish I knew how to avoid her anger.
Oh, I told you the original lady of the house was a fucking bitch. What? No, there's no doubt about it. Hana is an angel, but this idiot ghost thinks that Hana's the OG lady and thinks that Luke is the OG man. Honey, the roles have swapped. It's the lady of the house that's an absolute angel, an absolute sweetheart. Now it's the man who's an absolute shite. Ghost, I'll kill you. I highly doubt she means Hana. That woman rarely has a mean bone in her body. And when she actually is nasty towards someone else, it's usually deserving enough, much like with the Rochelle woman. Hell, she even tolerates Harvey for me, even if she did admit that she doesn't quite like the man. Why did I bring up the controls? She must mean the head housemate, right? I have to laugh at that. Not that I have room to speak, I don't deal with her myself anymore, though even Johannes has a few choice words about the head hag. She's just been under the right employee when she was also head housemaid for my father. If anyone's not gonna get along with someone, it'd be that crotchety old woman. I don't even remember her name. But that woman had been this strict, upstart bitch who took one look at me, her master's bastard son, turned her nose up as if she were better by mere consequence of birth. And then she absolutely loathed my very existence. Perhaps the rumors had been true. She had a miscarriage while bearing another one of dearest father's children, and she saw me as an obstacle to her being granted a better standing in life. I remember that much, at least. The only reason I haven't sacked her yet is because of her competence. And also because working under my household makes her absolutely miserable, her resignation made impossible by her pride.
Nobody really gets along with that woman. I think everyone just tolerates her because of how old she is. I mean, not to be rude or awful or anything, but she's at the age where she'll be pushing Daisy soon enough.
Is she? Really, my lord? I'm sure the lady is much younger than that.
I think the thought of tormenting the young and beautiful gives her reason to live.
It does seem that way, though I feel sorry for her. One's life should not be wasted away on hatred and anger. It is never good for the heart or the head to always carry ill thoughts. But at the least, you are here for us. We are certainly so lucky to have a lord like you. The lady even more so. The gods smile down on her. Though, if I may be honest, she is to be envied.
Even when I have my suspicions about her, she's just so easy to talk to that I've forgotten. I don't know who she is, and if she's actually one of the household staff, I'll explain why she'd so easily give obviously wrong statements about my character. Though, she is here for malicious reasons, she would have done more than do small talk with me by now, wouldn't she? I have so many questions. Perhaps curiosity will kill this cat.
It's strange that I've never seen you before. What's your name?
Give us a name! Give us a name!
You do not remember?
I don't believe you've mentioned it, or am I missing something?
You still cannot comprehend it, can you, my lord?
Her answer chips away at the good mood I'm starting to get into. I have every right to be angry at the cryptic responses. She threatens insubordination with her very presence alone. But instead of hurling vitriol at the woman, I take a deep breath. I do not want to ruin my mood ruined further than already is. Not right now when I can let my temper take its course another time.
Whatever your name is, and no matter how long you've been working for us, that does not change the fact that you shouldn't be here. I'll call you a cab to bring you to the city if you want.
Shouldn't I? What if I do not wish to leave?
Oh? Oh, it's getting spooky now.
I merely desire to stay by your side and serve. Is that such a deplorable thing?
Pog. Her gaze sends chills down my spine. It's too easy to see the devotion, the obsession in her eyes. Not the good sort either, as her scrutiny makes me feel like I'm laid bare. Thirst-ass ghost. The offness of her presence is all the more palpable the feelings of bugs crawling on my skin, and the silence that makes it seem as if the world has stopped. Any friendly atmosphere that we have had going for us completely forgotten. Danger. Small pot in the back of my mind screams. The pot's kept me alive all these years. In hindsight, I'd be stupid not to take heed of it. But I've grown arrogant, complacent, and content to hide beneath wealth and power.
Yes, it's a deplorable thing, as you said, because I'd like to be alone now. Thank you very much. If you didn't want the day off, you should have reported to your superior. This is utterly unprofessional of you, and I shall be issuing complaints. In fact, if you know it's good for you, you should start looking for another employer.
It's at my threat that she smiles and her face turns right
I
tight.
see. It escapes you still. This is unfortunate.
Damn, Luke, chill. She is kind of
I'm
weird.
despairing that this misery must go on. But maybe, if you come with me, I can help you. I can.
When she reaches out for me, I recoil with a
How
hiss.
dare you lay your filthy hands on me without my permission? I am not going anywhere with you. Now step back and walk away before I have you forcibly removed.
Whoa, there we go, there we go. As if a switch had been flipped, the woman's expression turns horrific. Though that may very well be the understatement of the century, she herself turns horrific. Her presence is suffocating, bearing down on me. I'm rooted on the spot, though no fault of my own, as my fear
You are
paralyzes.
too much like that vile woman, poisoned by her rotten influence and her filthy words. But that can be remedied now that you're here. Oh, how we have waited to welcome you home. Come, my lord. The house beckons.
We? Yeah, we? When her fingers grasp on the back of my coat, I finally find it in me to break off in a run. I can still feel her eyes on me as I run back to the house. We snog? Question mark? Oh my god, is that... Wow, that is some cute fucking art. Maybe if she wasn't a fucking crazy murder ghost, I would simp. She's so cute, right? That art is so... Oh god, I'll never get tired of the journal art. It's so good. I can still feel her eyes on me as I run back to the house. But I refuse to acknowledge it, let alone look back. All I need to do is get away from her and make sure she stays away. If that means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe, nobody can tell me to do otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. He must have been a sight to see the usually composed and reserved Luke Wright bursting through the doors. Not that I have much of an audience, unless there are staff members who's chosen to disregard my orders for them to leave. Really, I still doubt that woman is one of the staff. Mustering up the courage, I look back through the windows to see if she followed me. She's gone. I don't take any chances, putting as much distance as I can between us. Stopping to catch my breath, Johannes' sudden appearance nearly makes me jump out of my skin.
Don't fucking do that!
Thank you for the hydrate, Santa.
You son of a bitch! If I had a gun, I would have shot you!
If I had any love left for my mutter, I'd take offense. But what happened to you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Ha ha, funny, 'cause he did. Oh, if only it was such a delusion. But I can still feel her sharp nails digging into my back. Oh, what the fuck? Wrong button. The feeling was too real for it to have been a ghost.
There was his housekeeper. I think, I'm not sure. In the gardens. She was acting odd and I thought to remove myself from the scene.
Strange. I made sure the rest of the staff had left and that the house was empty, as you requested. Describe this woman.
She had pale skin, dark eyes, and long dark hair. She wouldn't give me her name.
I have expected a name from him. The man knows the staff better than I do, after all. But instead of an answer, he grows quiet. I'm pretty sure that's not a good thing. I'm even more worried when the other man looks me over. I have to protest when he pulls back my collar.
What in the bloody hell are you doing?
Checking for marks. Needle marks, to be exact. We don't have anyone like that among the staff. You could have easily been kidnapped.
Cold feeling settles itself over me at the thought. I've long established my power over the more unsavory characters in Luxborn, or I thought I did. And the most harm I thought that could come to me would be slander, robbery, or incarceration. Kidnapping? An attempt on my own person? I've forgotten that I'm as human, as mortal as any other man despite my wealth and status.
Fortunately, you look unharmed. But I advise that you be accompanied by trusted individuals at all times from now on. If not me, an assigned guard. I'll be informing them of this soon as they return from their day in the city.
Already I can feel the energy leave me at the realization of what could have been.
All right. Yes, I suppose we should do that. But I think I'd like to call it a day. I should be safe in bed, yes?
I'll stand guard outside for the night. The madam has been inquiring about you, by the way.
God, any other threat and he alone would be enough to make me feel safe. But what I saw, whatever it is I saw, would one man be enough?
That's all well and good, but there's something else. That housekeeper, she...
Luke, you're home. I was worried about you.
He was just in the garden. The grin that I can muster is probably lopsided. Forced as I snap my mouth shut to keep myself babbling about witches and monsters. Because here I am, standing in the hallway, dirt on my pant legs and sweat dotting my forehead. A far cry from my usual pristine condition. I don't want to worry Hannah. A cough.
What happened to you? You look like you wrestled in the mud and moss, dear. And those flowers. Were you gardening?
What? Oh, these. I didn't realize I still had them.
I really did not. But there they are, still in my grip, the daffodils I had taken from the garden. Even in wake of my flight, I had refused to let go of them, whether I was conscious of it or not.
Shall I put them in a vase?
Give them to Hannah! Let's see. I need one that doesn't already have a safe, that doesn't have a choice over it. Oh, this one right here, number 1. Relationship go up, surprisingly. I mean, not surprisingly, but like, huh. Luke redemption arc, question mark? Perhaps I did to save face, or maybe a small part of me really had planned to take them for her. But, like a young man presenting flowers to a Valentine's, I awkwardly thrust the bouquet in Hannah's direction.
They're for you.
These are lovely, thank you. But aren't these?
The surprise is to be expected. On the open-ended question needs little interpretation. Never given her daffodils before, especially not from ones that I considered mine.
They're for you. Don't make me think that kneeling around in the dirt was a waste of my time.
It's not. It's not. Just, are you feeling alright? I hope whatever I have isn't contagious.
Oh god, Luke has caught the pregnant. Luke caught the pregnant. Mpreg.
I'm not sick, Hannah. I just got them for you. I thought they'd make you feel better, brighten up the room. I don't need my intentions questioned. The thank you was enough.
And I didn't mean to insinuate anything. But you're right.
Luke Preggy.
Thank you.
Doggy
Truly
plastic.
for
Can you
these.
hear her? Can you hear her growling at me? Caught the pummel pregnant. She takes them from me then, careful not to crush the stems. There's still uncertainty on her face, which endears and annoys me in equal parts. But she does look lovely with them, the very picture of her, something that should be immortalized in paint. They should be for Mother. But it doesn't matter anymore.
Why don't we turn in for the night? You must be exhausted with all that gardening.
What does a dead woman care for flowers? Happy Halloween! It's the happiest time of the year! Happy Halloween! And it's raining. We got cozy Halloween vibes. Get a blanket, make some hot chocolate, put on a movie, cuddle up on the couch. It's the best time of the year. But even more so, I think it is the time. Oh, fucking hell. There we go. I think it is time that I close this and we set this aside for next week. But I think we're getting really close to that end. I might if my schedule allows me, I'll see how much we can push out. So good. I am glad you're enjoying it. So glad we got to finally play as Luke. I'm not gonna lie, I did get a little, like, it did feel a bit, like, draggy playing as Ashton just because he is protagonist, man. It's me, I'm the main character, here to do main character stuff. So doing things from the essentially the, like, antagonist's perspective is nice. Welcome change. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, I know, Ryu, I know. Like I said, I just haven't been feeling smash. Honestly, I can guarantee you the day Sephiroth drops, I'm so ready. I do that every time. I just honestly... Yeah, don't worry about it, Ryu. I'm missing my own streams as well. It's the only one for the rest of the week, after all. I don't know when I'll be able to stream again until Saturday. My Saturday, by the way. But hey, thank y'all for hanging out. That was fun. I might look up a playthrough. I'm not going to see what happens. I just want to know how much time we have left. I want to see if we can bang out Luke's story and the game itself in one go. Or if it'll take... good question. I don't know what day Sephiroth drops. But we shall see. We shall see. If not, hopefully sometime before that, we'll both finally like, hey, I feel like playing Smash. And we'll both have a clear schedule. But anyways, hell yeah, thank y'all for hanging out. This was fun. It was so good to see the gang all together. And we get to the end of the fucking chapter. And then, boom. Hornered. Cucked. Robbed. Just, boom. Hana is in danger. Oh, wait. The 17th of this month? Worm? Worm. Anja. Because that's tomorrow. Oh, damn. Well, hopefully, I have work tomorrow, but if you're up when I get back, we will see. But, fuck yeah, alright. You guys take care. I feel like we're getting there. Because it's October 31st. The last chapter that the end of Ashton's chapter was November 1st. There's no more dates in that calendar. I feel it deep in my bones. My dog is growling at me. She wants me to hurry up and end this already. I feel it deep in my bones. Next stream is going to be the last one. Oof, yikes. I don't get home until 10:30 p.m. I won't be home till like 11 p.m. PST. And thanks for stopping by. And of course, it's time to give thanks. Again, ezap_pi, thank you for the follow while I was offline. And Stella, why? You are already number 1. You don't need to fucking throw money at me and give 3 subs. I'm sure Ryu really appreciates it though. But thank you again for the 3 subs. It means a bunch, but I prefer just hanging out and chatting. You don't need to give me money. Simping is banned. Alright. And thank you to everyone who came by and watched. Those of you who lurked. Hope you all had a good time. Hope you enjoyed it. I am very excited to go back. I do have fun mocking the British and putting on a bad British accent. Alright. That's enough rambling. I love you all. You take care. Have a good day, good night, good morning. If anyone's actually watching the VODs, hot damn. Hope you're having a good one. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye.